Hey friends, welcome back to my channel, Mystic Magic. In today's tarot reading, we are going to be diving into Path A versus Path B. So if you're at a crossroads, you need to make a decision about something, or you have two different options that you can take, this is the perfect reading for you. So it doesn't matter what your options are. This could be about two jobs. This could be about relationships. This could be about school. This could be about what you're going to have for dinner tonight. But it's very in-depth. This is a very lengthy reading, so buckle up and make sure that you have some water and some snacks. Feel free to also have a notebook or something with you if you want to write some things down, but we are going to be getting into it today. So what you'll need to do before we actually get into all the cards is identify which two options that you want to ask about, and then I want you to assign one of your options to Path A and one option to Path B. Each of the piles that I've prepared for you today are very thick and juicy. In each pile, I have cards for Path A and also for Path B. So you'll just need to choose one of these three piles. And once you've chosen a pile, you can assign your options to Path A or to Path B. In addition to our usual disclaimers, I really just want to emphasize the fact that you have free will and nothing is set in stone, okay? So if you hear something that you don't like, know that you can change things at any point, okay? This reading and tarot in general is always looking at the current energy and the current trajectory of things, if nothing were to change at all. So if you hear something that you don't like about a certain path, know that you don't need to accept that, and you can actually choose to do something different. And in doing that, it will also shift the energy and the trajectory of that path, okay? I just want to make that really, really clear. Don't feel like these answers are set in stone, because they're not. I'm just here to offer some guidance and some clarity as to what you can expect in a general sense if you're to go down either of these paths or either of these options that you are currently debating right now, okay? So what we're going to be looking at in today's reading is the outcome, the blessings, the challenges, how you'll feel about this path, what the path will require of you, how this path will change things, as well as advice, okay? So we'll be taking a look at all of those topics for both Path A and for Path B. So all that being said, let me introduce you to the piles that we have today. So here on pile 1, we have this beautiful green Aventurine. On pile number 2, we have this black Moonstone. Okay, and on pile number 3, we have this Howlite heart. So feel free to pause the video if you need some more time figuring out which pile you're the most drawn towards. And then once you've chosen, you can scroll down to the description box or the pinned comment and skip ahead to your reading. I am going to re-emphasize our disclaimers by saying tarot is just a tool that reads the current energy, and energy is always changing, so know that you have free will and the power to create change. Keep in mind this is a general reading, so take the messages that resonate and leave the rest behind. There could simply just be messages here that are meant for other people watching that just aren't meant for you. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Pile 1 if you chose the green Aventurine crystal, this is going to be your reading today. So, like I mentioned in the intro, we are taking a look at two options that you are trying to gain more clarity on. So we have path A and we have path B. So if you haven't already, please take this time, pause if you need to, but take this time to identify which of your options you are associating with path A and which option you are associating with path B before we get into the cards, okay? So take a moment, take the time that you need. Again, feel free to pause the video if you need extra time to consider. But what we're going to be taking a look at today is the outcome, the blessings, the challenges, how you're going to feel about this path, what this path will require of you, how this path is going to change things, and then we're going to close the reading off with some advice. So we'll be looking into all of those topics for both path A and for path B, okay? So grab a glass of water, get yourself a snack. I feel like this is going to be a lengthy reading because we got a lot of information to cover, but I'm going to try to keep it as streamlined as possible while ensuring that we really get those answers and that clarity that you need, okay? So I'm going to put path B off to the side for now, and we are going to start off with path A. So let's take a look at the outcome first, which is going to be represented by these three tarot cards here. So if you were to choose path A, if you were to walk down the path of path A, what would the ultimate outcome be? We have the Tower, we have the Two of Wands reversed, and we also have the Two of Cups. Okay, so the first thing that I heard was a change of plans, especially with this Tower and this Two of Wands reversed. So I feel like the ultimate outcome for this path may not be entirely what you expected, but not in a bad way. It almost feels like a change for the better, or recognizing that maybe this change either will impact someone really close to you or will bring in some kind of divine or fated partnership of some sort that we see here with the Two of Cups. So this could be like bringing in a romantic partner, bringing in a friendship, a business partner, okay? Something like that. I feel like this path, while things may not go according to plan in the way that you specifically envisioned it, I feel like it'll still bring a lot of peace and harmony into your life. And ultimately, it will balance out a situation that may have felt a bit hectic. Like I'm seeing a lot of moving parts. Like, is this about, are you moving? Are you contemplating moving or something? That could be the case for some of you. If that's not what this is about, don't worry about it. That's just kind of the vision that I'm getting. So with the Tower here, going down this path is really going to shake things up for you. It's like I said, it's not going to be fully what you expect, and it's going to cause you to have to rework some plans or to totally scrap what you were working on or what you were building and start fresh. This path also may bring to your attention that maybe you can't do it all alone and that you need help with it, or that the product of it, the result of it, would be better if you had some kind of collaboration of some sort. That's what I'm seeing here with the Two of Cups. It's almost like I'm hearing like two heads is better than one. So if this could be about like maybe a business idea, maybe you started like working on a business idea or you have this business idea and have like a general idea of how you think you want it to go. But then if you're actually pursuing it, it's like the outcome would be maybe once you start getting more and more into it, you're realizing like, actually, I don't really think it's going to work out. Or actually, you know what? I have this secondary idea that I think it would actually be better if I do it this way. Or you realize that like, oh, you know what? My partner would be really, it would be really beneficial to have them collaborate with me on this project because, you know, they're really talented in this area. Or, oh, my friend is really, really talented at this, and like maybe we should go into business together. That's kind of the idea that I'm getting. But just this idea of like needing to start over or needing to start from scratch because you're realizing like that something's not working, but it doesn't feel detrimental. It feels like you still have like plenty of options and resources available to you. But I don't think this is something that you would fully realize until you start going down this path, right? Because you never know until you try. So you might start trying out this one thing, and maybe you just kind of like assume that like, yep, I'm just gonna do this thing and this and this, and then it'll all just work out, and like this is gonna be the outcome. And I feel like it's gonna be a bit different. It could also be for some of you that maybe these plans have already fallen through and now you're feeling like you're starting from scratch again, or you're feeling like you're starting from the bottom again, and Spirit is saying like this is not a bad thing. Okay, this is happening for you, not to you, and you'll understand why in retrospect why this first scenario or this first idea you had didn't fully pan out or didn't work out, and why it was necessary to have this change of plans. So I don't know what you're doing. Like I said, this could be about a move, this could be about starting a business, whatever it is, it's requiring you to be flexible and adaptable and not too attached to the outcome, because I see a lot of shifts and changes and like the need to kind of pivot and rework what you're doing. Like it's almost like I'm seeing someone like writing a draft of it, like the first draft of an essay, and then every time they reread it and work on it, you know, they make little changes here and there until slowly you get to the final version of the document where it's like perfect and everything makes sense and everything is the way that you want it. It's like something that needs constant like updating or attention, or just like needs to be refined and reworked a few times until it's ready to launch. But whatever it is that's not working out here, know that it's in order to, I'm hearing recalibrate, or just to bring balance back into the situation, because we have 2 twos here, which is all about balance, harmony, duality, also making plans and making decisions. So like I said, you could be considering bringing someone else into the mix to help you, or to I'm also hearing like joint custody, and I'm also hearing legal entity. So yeah, you could be coming together and making a contract of some sort. This is really interesting. I want to get further into this. I actually have another tarot deck here that I'm going to grab a couple more cards. I just saw 1111 on the timer, and that's funny because these twos here, these Roman numeral twos, it kind of looks like 1111 as well. So this could be something that you've been really trying to manifest, something that you've been really dreaming about or working hard towards, or yeah, there's this almost this element of like fantasy or like daydreaming, something that you really want to bring into your life. So Spirit guides, please, can you elaborate on what the outcome is for my pile ones if they were to choose path A? Can you elaborate on what the outcome would be for my pile ones if they were to choose path A? Yeah, I'm hearing like back to the start, back to the drawing board on something. Okay. Yeah, we have justice coming out. So again, it's this idea of like this happening for your greatest good. This is happening for your divine protection and ultimately to redirect you into the outcome that will be most beneficial for you, even if it's not the outcome that you originally imagined would happen. But again, like we have more scales, more imagery and symbolism about balance and harmony. And again, justice does talk about contracts and laws. So this could be about a business idea. But I'm also hearing what what you don't know can't hurt you. So I'm not too sure what that's about. If that's just in regards to the fact that like your original idea not working out and needing to rework it, like you don't necessarily need to know why that didn't work out, other than the fact that it's because there's a better option for you. Okay, that's ultimately what I'm getting here. So I want to see what the blessings will be, which are going to be represented by these 3 oracle cards here. Okay, so the blessings that you will come into as you go down path A. Okay, we have romance, celebration, and party with the fan. I'm hearing that song I'm a Fan by, oh my god, is it Jeremiah and Pia something? I'll put it up on the screen, but I'm hearing that song. Okay, wow, we also have ring. A marriage will take place, either romantic or business. Wow. Okay, and we also have dog, protection from a powerful friend. So it's really interesting. So you know how we had justice coming out? On the back of the deck, we had the Ace of Cups. Okay, so whether this is about going into business with someone, starting your own business, forming a business partnership, or if you're getting married, or if you're taking your commitment to the next level, I'm seeing a lot of loyalty from this person or these people. I'm seeing a lot of good times, like a lot of joy and happiness and like gratitude. And I'm also seeing that there's a lot of people who support you as well, whether they're people you know or don't know. I feel like you'll have a lot of fans, a lot of supporters, a lot of people who stand behind you. And I also see this dog card, protection from a powerful friend, as well. It could be a literal person in your life, but I also see this as spirit wanting to let you know that like if you go down this path, you are so protected and safe, even if it feels like things are falling apart or if it feels like things aren't going according to plan. Like know that, like we have here with the angel and justice, like know that you're being divinely looked over. As well here with the caduceus, we have the angel wings as well. So another example that's coming through is like, let's say you're getting married and then let's say, I don't know, the venue pulls out or like the venue falls through or something like that. So now you're scrambling to find a different location. Okay, but then the location that you end up finding ends up being so much better and like super beautiful and everything that you never knew that you wanted. That's kind of the idea that I'm getting here. It's like, it may not be what you thought, but it's everything that you never knew that you wanted or needed. Okay. And I feel like you'll be hitting a lot of different milestones with this fan card here. We have celebration, we have party. So I feel like it will lead to not just one successful thing, but a multitude of successes or a multitude of milestones being hit that will be a cause for celebration. Now, in terms of the challenges that you'll be facing as you go down this path, we have Bull, do not back down from opposition, show strength and fortitude. We also have Apple, temptation will test you. As well as we have Carrot, opportunity or windfall. Okay, so what I'm getting from these, somebody could be a Taurus. You don't have to be, but I'm just, with the Bull here, it's making me think of Taurus energy. But what I'm feeling with the challenge is that I feel like it's really going to test you. I feel like it's really going to make you question how badly you want this. And I feel like you'll hit a point where you may feel like you want to give up because maybe things aren't working out like in the way that you thought they would, or if you keep hitting obstacles, I think you may be tempted to kind of throw in the towel or just be like, is this even worth it? Like, I don't know what I'm doing here. You know, I'm trying to make this work and it just feels like I keep hitting roadblock after roadblock. So it's really going to challenge you and challenge your, like really just challenge your fortitude. Like how much conviction do you have? How much do you believe in yourself? How much do you believe in this idea? How much do you believe that the universe is working with you to bring this in your life? It's really going to require a lot of faith from you and a lot of perseverance, dedication, consistency, and hard work, because I think you will be very successful in this path, but I think it will be difficult at first to see those successes come in. So this could be something like, let's say you start your own business. You know, maybe the first year you don't make any money, or the first couple years you don't make any money. And then all of a sudden, you know, your business goes viral and it becomes super popular and it grows and grows and grows, and then you open more stores. It's something like that where it's like not everyone is going to be cut out for this, and it's really going to require you to be strong and kind of like not back down. Yeah, exactly. Do not back down from opposition. So you might be tempted to give up. You may be tempted to back down. You may be tempted to give up. But if you do that, then all these promises of abundance and opportunities and happiness and success, it's like you're closing the door on that. Not permanently, because of course you'll still have those things, but for this pathway, it's really going to challenge, I think, mostly your mental, and it's going to challenge your mental state the most, because in your heart you're going to want to continue, but your mind or your ego may feel skeptical or may feel like it's not worth it at times. It may want to give up because it's frustrated or tired that it's not seeing the results that it wants to see yet. So I see those being kind of like the biggest challenges that you're going to face if you choose to go down this path. Move these up a little bit and make some more room for our next cards. And so what I'm hearing, it's like it's up to you to decide whether the struggle is worth the prize in this situation. Because it's like I see the results being there, but it's not necessarily an easy like getting from point A to point B and just like zoop. Okay, there may be a lot of mountains, there may be a lot of challenges, but that doesn't mean that you can't overcome those and get to the other side where you see your successes. Okay, so now I want to take a look at how you'll feel about it. So basically with these cards here, my intention was, if you were to choose path A, and as you're going down this path and as you're going down this journey, how will you feel about this path as you're further down the line. Okay, so we have the Empress in reverse. We have the Hanged Man. And we also, wow, okay, we have the Lovers. So you have all major arcana here. So what I'm seeing for you, Pile 1, is as you move down this path, what I'm really getting is I'm hearing you question yourself and saying, have I made the right decision? Did I make the right decision? And again, I feel like it's this idea of like head versus heart, where your heart is in it and you feel really passionate and excited about it, and you have a lot of creative ideas. You have a grand vision of how you see this going. And I feel like you've invested a lot into this emotionally, mentally, energetically. Like, I feel like you've put a lot into this, and at times you may feel like you're not moving as fast as you want to, or you may feel stifled in some way. You may feel restricted in some way. You may feel like there's more that you could be doing, as well as you may start to either notice things or identify things that you never noticed about the situation when you first started, which is totally normal, especially if this is like a brand new situation that you've never been in before. Like if you're starting your own business, you know, and you've never done that before, and then you need to do all this like paperwork, and you're dealing with the law and like copyrights and patents and like, you know, all of these things, it can be very overwhelming. And it can be like, well, you know, I had no idea going into this that like I would need to do these things, or that these things even existed. And it's like seeing more of the full picture. And maybe as your vision of the whole picture continues to expand and expand, you may start to question, like, am I in over my head here? Like, is this really the best decision? Should I pack this up and try to, you know, take a different avenue? But I also think that there's a lot of potential here. So let's see, I want to grab some clarifiers for you. Spirit guides, please. How will my Pile 1s feel about going down path A? As they go down this journey of path A, how will my Pile 1s feel about it, please? Can you elaborate on the Empress reversed, the Hanged Man, and the Lovers? I also see this as, I think as well, you'll be really grateful that you're not doing this alone. Because remember I talked about at the beginning how it feels like someone else is going to be coming into the mix here. I think you're going to be feeling very grateful that you have someone who's in this with you. And like, I'm just hearing like, oh my God, I cannot imagine having to do all of this alone. Like, I would be so lost if I had to do this all alone, or I would be so stressed out if I had to do this all alone. Okay. Okay. So we had the Three of Cups coming out, as well as the Eight of Swords and Justice. Interesting. So we have 3 threes here. We have the Empress, the Hanged Man, and the Three of Cups. And we have these 2 eights on the back of the deck. Wow, look at that. The Three of Pentacles. Okay, so, oh, and we had 2 twos. Wow, you guys must be seeing a lot of angel numbers or repeating numbers. Or if you start going down this path, Spirit will really be communicating with you through angel numbers. I would say specifically the number 3883. Maybe you want to look that up or something. It's just really catching my eye here. So how will you feel about this? You know, it's these cards are kind of reiterating what I just said. With the Three of Cups and the Three of Pentacles, it's like feeling really grateful that you have such a supportive community around you, or other people that you can rely on, bounce things off of, like whether you're stressed, whether you're celebrating, whether you know, need feedback or opinions on things. Like I really see with the Three of Cups and the Three of Pentacles, like people really coming through for you. But I'm also hearing like take the blindfold off. So there could be certain aspects about this path, kind of like what I was saying, where maybe you don't fully see the whole picture, or you don't fully know what you're getting yourself into, which isn't a bad thing. Like we hardly ever know what we're getting ourselves into when we start something, right? But I think what will really help you if you go down this path is to surrender to this idea that you don't know everything, and that's okay, and to accept the help when it comes in, and to not be afraid to ask for help, because I feel like there's a lot to celebrate here, and there's a lot that you're going to accomplish and do, but I feel like you'll be so focused on, oh, but I haven't hit this milestone yet, or I haven't made you know, this many sales, or I haven't made this much revenue. And I feel like that could really be holding you back or make you feel really stifled. Maybe you're trying to follow like a cookie cutter like blueprint of, you know, what's supposed to work. But I don't think that that's going to work for you. I don't feel like this is like a very traditional path, whatever this is. It doesn't feel very traditional. And if you're trying to mold yourself to fit into that, it can feel quite stifling, which is what I kept feeling with this Empress in reverse card, and it's being confirmed here with the Eight of Swords. So some advice that's already coming through for this is don't be afraid to change things up. Don't be afraid to do things differently. Don't be afraid to, oh, what's that quote? Or not, it's not, I guess it's a quote, but it's just like try again. And it's like we saw with the challenges, I feel like there will be a lot of obstacles, but it's like fall down 7 times, stand up 8. Like just because you've fallen down doesn't mean you can't get back up and try again. Doesn't mean you can't try something different. You know, look at things from another angle. Get feedback and opinions and inspirations from other people, you know, to really just broaden your perspective so that you're not limiting yourself to fit a certain path or to look a certain way. I think you'll feel a lot happier, and it's almost this feeling of like not being able to breathe. Like I feel like you might get really stressed out or feel like so much is riding on this, or like a lot of people are counting on you, or feeling like you need to prove to other people that like this risk that you're taking is worth it, you know? So this could really be like going out on a limb and like I don't know, if you have a really traditional family and then you're wanting to marry someone from a completely different culture or religion. Okay, maybe you feel a lot of pressure that like, oh, you know, this marriage or this relationship has to work out because, you know, everyone's doubting me and everyone's saying it's not going to work out, so I really have to make sure that like this works out. Spirit is saying it's almost like to really shift your focus and focus more on the solution than any problems that come up. So of course we want to pay attention to problems that come up or pay attention to red flags, but we don't want to ruminate in that energy, okay? Because we can't find solutions in the same consciousness as the problem. So it will require you to continuously shift and elevate and look at things in a different way so that you can find solutions that work for you. Because I feel like what you're doing or the situation, this path is really unique, and it's going to take a lot of trial and error is what I'm getting. So now we're going to take a look at what this path will require of you. And while I was preparing your cards, before any cards even fell out, I was hearing sacrifice, which is interesting because we also have the Hanged Man here as well. And one thing that the Hanged Man can represent is making sacrifices. So let's see what this path will require of you. Okay, we have time to go, number 45. So this going down this path is going to require you to let go of something, to leave something behind, or to walk away from something. I see you needing to close out a certain chapter or to fully close a certain door. So this could be, this could be like emotional baggage from the past, or this could be about, leaving one job to start another, or leaving one phase of your relationship to enter a new phase of your relationship, or ending this period of being single and entering this phase of mutual commitment with someone. But I see that it's really going to require you to walk away from certain things that maybe you weren't fully expecting here, with the Tower and the Two of Wands. And I do feel like a very bittersweet energy from this. It doesn't feel like completely catastrophic, and it also doesn't feel completely like, okay, sure, I'll leave that behind, no worries, and then just kind of like going off. There is this element of like bittersweetness where there's one part of you that will feel sad about closing this chapter, feeling excited about starting something new, feeling nervous, or maybe even a little anxious about, ending something and starting something new, which is completely normal. Endings can be really difficult, and beginnings can be difficult too. It really pushes us outside of our comfort zone, and it leaves us in a state of feeling very vulnerable. So these are all completely normal things that happen when we're going through a big transition like this. But again, it's that idea of duality, which we kept seeing with the Two of Wands, the Two of Cups, and we have the Lovers here too, which also does talk about duality. So, and it's interesting because when you think about duality, it's like two sides of the same coin. It's seeing things from all different perspectives, right? Seeing the whole spectrum, not just focusing on one side. So as well as I feel like this path is really going to require of you to be very open-minded, very adaptable and flexible, like we were talking about in the beginning, and to also really just have a lot of trust that you're being led in a positive direction and that you're being led by spirit. With the number 45 here, this reduces to a 9. And to me, 9s are all about an individual journey. It also indicates that you're wrapping up a cycle, you're ending a cycle, and that there will be some things in your current reality or your current life that will have to stay put as you move forward, okay? So again, like if you're moving, of course you're going to have to leave one home behind to move into another home, or you may have to leave family and friends behind if you're relocating to a different city or a different country, right? And so there may also be aspects of this path that require you to do things alone. Even though I do see with the Two of Cups, the Ring card, and the Lovers here, even though I do see that there's going to be at least one very integral person as part of this path, I think there's still certain things that you're just going to have to do alone, or it's going to require you to go on some sort of spiritual journey about discovering more about who you really are, discovering qualities about yourself that maybe you never really noticed or recognized before, or never even had the opportunity to explore them. And this may be the first time that you're in these kinds of situations where you're really learning like how strong you are, how tough you are, how intelligent you are, how adaptable you can be, how willing you are to collaborate with people and accept help. I feel like there's going to be a lot of growth in this path, which is so beautiful. But at the same time, I'm trying to be realistic for you and saying that it may not be easy. Okay, it's certainly possible, but I just want you to know that it may not be the easiest. So now let's see how this path will change things for you. So we have inner peace. Beautiful. So going down this path for you, while it does have its challenges, while it does have its changes and spontaneity and necessity to be adaptable, at the same time, I see you coming into this state of also feeling really at peace. Even though you may feel stressed out, you may feel overwhelmed, you may feel like, oh my God, all these obstacles, all this stuff is changing, I have no idea what's going on. I think at the same time, there's almost this grounded energy coming through of things may feel chaotic at times or difficult at times, but because you're carving your own path and you're doing things your way and doing things that really reflect your authenticity, it's going to bring you a lot of peace as well. I'll give you an example from my life. So years ago, I was in school, I was working, just whatever job to sustain me so that I could make money to pay for school. And I had lots of friends, and I was dating, and I had extracurriculars, and I had a lot going on, and those areas of my life were fulfilled, but I was full of anxiety, I was stressed, I was depressed, I did not have this sense of inner peace. Okay, fast forward many, many years later, my friend group is much smaller. I'm now in a very, very happy, committed relationship. I'm doing what I love, which is reading tarot. And this is the happiest that I've ever been. It's the most peace that I've ever felt, because even though it's not a traditional path to go down, it's my path, right? It's my path, and it has its own challenges, it has its own obstacles, but it's my path, and in that sense, it brings me a lot of peace. Also, can we just talk about how there's two fish here when we've been talking about like duality and balance this whole time? You could also be a Pisces with this card here, but again, you certainly don't have to, or maybe this person is. But fish also represent abundance, so I feel like this path will also really change your sense of abundance, whether that's in a financial sense or feeling an abundance of peace, feeling an abundance of happiness, an abundance of support. I see that coming for you on this path as well. And again, we have these water lilies here, and they're very similar to the lotus flower. So I also feel like, especially with the Hanged Man here in the Tower, a lot of enlightenment, a lot of growth and learning. Yeah, they're showing me like the spiral. Well, I just saw 45:54 on the timer, so many number synchronicities with this group. So what I'm getting is, although at first you may feel overwhelmed or burdened with how challenging or the obstacles that come up on this path, there's going to be this point where like a switch goes off in your head, and it's like you're putting it into second gear, and it's like you're almost getting a hold of yourself and being like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to sit here and just lie down and give up, okay? Like, I want this, I know what I'm capable of, and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do it no matter how many obstacles come up. And I feel like the more that you turn to this energy of not backing down and showing strength and fortitude and really believing in yourself and believing in the universe, the more that this inner peace will start to flood into your life, is what I want to say. It may feel rocky at the beginning because, again, it's like it'll be something new for you. So it's like you're still trying to get your footing. It's like, you know, when you're learning to ride a bike and it's like super wobbly at first and you're like holding onto the handlebars for dear life and you're just like, ah. But then once you get it, it's like just easy going, right? And you don't have to really think about what you're doing, and it's just like this state of calm, the state of peace, and now you can like enjoy yourself and ride your bike. Okay, that's what I'm seeing. I hope that makes sense. So now let's take a look at some advice for you if you were to go down path A. So we have water your garden, nourishment, body care, tenderness, rest. Yes. So because I feel like a lot's going to be going on in this path, it's really going to require you to make sure that you're really, really taking care of yourself, okay? And I mean, taking care of yourself on every level. So taking care of your physical body. Are you eating well? Are you drinking water? Are you staying hydrated? Are you getting enough sleep? Okay. You also need to be taking care of your mental health and emotional health, your spiritual health. Okay. So meditating, doing yoga, journaling, praying, you know, taking a salt bath, grounding yourself, also trying to find, trying to create balance in your life so that you're not just focused on whatever this path is, like if this is a business or a relationship, whatever, but that you're also taking care of all of the other elements in your life, right? Because while this path may be a big part of your life, it's not your whole life. And there's other elements I feel that need tending to as well, including yourself. So it's like finding creative ways to create balance between work, hobbies, relationships, friendships, resting, playing. You know, there's so many different things that we need to balance, and it can be really, really hard. And so this is something that you'll have to be aware of going down this path. Okay, we also have it's time to release negativity, full moon in Scorpio. So yeah, this is kind of like what I was saying. It's really this path is really going to require you to believe in yourself, believe in your capabilities, and trust in the universe as well. Trust that the universe is going to help deliver you this manifestation, this goal, whatever it is that you're trying to achieve here. It's really going to require you to shift your mindset into a more hopeful or more positive one. And you know, of course, it's totally normal to have fears and doubts and things like that, but we don't have to let our fears and our doubts win. You know, we can listen to what they're saying and then say, thank you very much for your opinion, but actually I choose to believe that this is all going to work out fine for me. Or I choose to believe that I'm actually going to be really successful at this. Okay? So I'm seeing that it'll be really necessary for you to release a lot of maybe old or outdated ways of thinking, maybe negative thinking patterns, maybe even certain behaviors, certain habits, or even certain people that are holding you back in some way or weighing you down. Some of you may be like empathic or maybe just sensitive to people's energy, because it could be that certain people around you feel quite skeptical about what it is that you're doing, and you may take on that energy. So if you find that you're feeling like good and confident about what you're doing, and then you go to hang out with someone and afterwards you feel really like skeptical, you feel doubtful, you're like, you know what, I don't even know why I'm doing this. Spirit is saying reconsider, okay? This person may not be the best influence, or this person doesn't understand simply because it's not meant for them to understand, right? This is your path and it's for you to understand. And as long as you understand it, you don't need to take on other people's, you know, criticisms, judgments, negative opinions. Let them project and let it bounce right off of you, is what Spirit is saying. Okay, so that's everything that I'm seeing for Path A. I'm going to shift these over and let's start looking at Path B. Okay, so for Path B, let's take a look at what the outcome will be if you choose to go down Path B, okay? So we have the Hermit. We have the Empress. And we have the Knight of Swords. So what I'm getting with these cards here, I heard you'll grow in ways that you never even imagined. And as well as I feel like with this path, it feels really spiritual. It feels really like philosophical and deep. And I feel like it's something that's been happening for a long time. This could be a path that you may have gone down in past lifetimes. So there may be an essence of familiarity behind it. But there's this, it's interesting. We have the Hermit and the Knight of Swords. It's this feeling of like slowly and then all at once. Like I keep hearing Elvis Presley, wise men say only fools rush in, but not even saying that like you're a fool for rushing into this, but it feels like an urge to rush into this, or this like urge to dive deep into something. It's like going deep into the void, which I know that sounds like kind of dark or like daunting or something, but it's actually, I don't mean it in that sense. The void it represents everything and nothing, and the void is chaos, and chaos is creation, right? Because we have the Empress here as well, so it feels like this path is almost like a soul-seeking kind of journey, or like a self-discovery journey of like learning more about who you are and what you have to offer. There's definitely some kind of like message that you would be sharing here, or like sharing your life experiences, or something to do with communicating, like combining your wisdom and your knowledge and expertise in something and sharing that with others. So I don't know if you're like wanting to be a teacher or like a guru of some kind. This could even be like giving talks, like even a podcast or something. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, because I feel like the energy here, it feels actually quite calm and like really, really grounded and stable. And so this Knight of Swords, Knight of Swords is like really, really quick moving. It's very mercurial. It's very, it doesn't stay still. It moves a lot. And I almost feel like it's kind of like the tortoise and the hare, where you may move slowly down this path, but a lot externally comes rushing in, or comes very quickly. So what I'm getting is like, it may not even feel like you're doing a lot, but that the success or abundance or like audience like grows and expands quickly. And that could be because maybe in this path you're less focused on this kind of external world, this external environment of like, I'm trying to make sales, or I'm trying to get my numbers to grow, or I'm trying to you know, attract this person or these people. It feels here like you're more focused on you. You're more focused on what you're creating. You're more focused on what you're learning, what you're experiencing, what you're creating, what you're wanting to birth. And because you're more focused on that, I want to say you're focused on your craft. And because you're more focused on that, I feel like it makes it so much easier for the abundance, the people, the success, whatever it is, to come flooding in, because there's less resistance to it since you're not focused on it. There's also, this is very much like being in service to others, like taking care of someone or something, maybe a group of people, a community of some sort. It's like, I'm hearing like, you know, I've taken care of myself, now I can help take care of you. Or like I've gone down many paths in life and I've accumulated all this wisdom and experience, so now let me share that with you. Or now let me use my experiences and turn that into something that can help other people. That's kind of what I'm getting. But it feels very beautiful. It feels very peaceful. And very successful, very abundant with the Empress here. There's just like a natural flow to it. I don't know how else to describe that. It feels like a natural flow. Spirit guides, please, can you elaborate on the outcome for my pile ones if they were to choose path B, please? Can you elaborate on what the outcome would be for my pile ones if they were to choose path B, please? Okay. So we have the Page of Cups reversed and the Two of Swords on the back of the deck. Oh, that's really interesting. Okay, this Page of Cups reverse is making me feel like whatever you've been holding yourself back from, it's like the moment you take that lid off and let everything come pouring out, is going to attract a lot of abundance to you, a lot of success. It's interesting because this Page of Cups reversed, it doesn't necessarily feel like the outcome, it just feels like the precursor to these cards that we have laid out. So what I mean by that is like, basically what I'm seeing is, you know, when you have like a plastic bottle of a fizzy drink, okay, and it's closed and you shake it up and then the pressure builds and builds and builds and it like becomes like rock solid because there's so much pressure in there, and you finally open up the cap and everything just goes like exploding out. It's like that's what this feels like. It feels like you've been holding back from something that maybe feels really natural to you, or holding back from something that you know would bring you a lot of abundance or bring you a lot of experiences. And it's like, I feel like as soon as you take that lid off, it's like but in a good way, like not in a bad way of like shit hitting the fan, but like blowing the top off, and just like an abundance of creativity, an abundance of wisdom, an abundance of like service to others and positive energy, and like all of these beautiful things that have been held back that now are released, and like now you can share that with the world. I hope that's making sense. And this path feels like it will be very successful as long as you stay true to you, to your authenticity, to what feels good and what feels right to you. And as long as you hold on to this vision that you have, with the Empress being right in the middle, like it feels so fertile. It's like you could create anything that you wanted, is the energy that I'm getting. So let's take a look at the blessings that this path would offer you. So we have wall, misunderstanding. We have the month of October. And we also have fair woman. Dealings or relationship with a woman with blonde, gray, or white hair. Interesting. So we're talking about blessings here, right? So this could really be about, like, going down this path could really bring you back together with maybe someone that you've had a falling out with. This person could be born in October. So they could be, what is that? A Libra or a Scorpio. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. I don't fully remember what I was saying, but we were talking about the blessings here. So I feel like if there's some kind of separation between you and someone, or a divide or something like that, that going down this path could somehow bring you all together again. This is so interesting. I'm definitely going to pull some extra clarifiers, but this October card, it's also making me feel like kind of like this Empress energy of, you know, collecting your harvest in the fall, collecting all of the fruits of your labor in the fall time. So October, or the season of autumn, could be significant for you on this journey. Whenever you're watching this. But I want to see, Spirit guides, please, can you clarify what are the blessings that pile 1 would come into as they move along path B, please? What blessings can path B offer to my pile 1s? Okay. I just heard reconciliation. Interesting. Okay, so the card that came out was the Star. The Star, and we have the Nine of Pentacles on the back of the deck. Wow, so it's like wish fulfillment in some way. The Star is ruled by Aquarius, which rules the 11th house, which talks about our community and our friend circle as well. So yeah, if there is some kind of falling out of any kind, going down this path could bring reconciliation back with you and this person. And with this Nine of Pentacles, it's like recognizing your worth again, what you're worthy of, what you're deserving of. And it could be that maybe this separation that happened was so that you could recognize your own worth, so that you could build yourself up without this person. Because sometimes there's certain things, kind of like what I was saying with path A, it's like there's certain things that it's like we just need to do alone sometimes. But I see a lot of abundance and success for sure. If this is about starting your own business, I see this being very successful. But so who is this person? What is this, Spirit guides? I need some, what's going on here with Wall, October, and Fair Woman? Why is this a blessing for my pile 1s if they go down path B? Why is this a blessing? I just heard it's what's been missing. So this could also be with the Empress here. This could be in regards to a mother figure, or even like a grandparent or something with the Hermit, or someone that you really look up to that, you know, that has a lot of wisdom or something like that. What's going on here with the blessings for my pile 1s? Why do we have Wall, October, and Fair Woman as the blessings? Can you... Okay, so we have the King of Swords coming out. And on the back of the deck, we have the Sun. Yeah. A lot of clarity, having a very honest and truthful conversation with someone. Now, I can't say for certain whether or not this reunion or this reconciliation will result in you two being in each other's lives again. I just saw 444 on the timer. So, you know, like, okay, if this person has really disrespected you in some way or treated you poorly, like, you don't need to, you know, have this person back in your life, but it could just be that going down this path leads to you to having a reconciliation and then parting ways again. It's like clearing out the karma from this connection, or just clearing the air, right, with the King of Swords and the Knight of Swords here. It's like clearing the air so that you can both move on, so you're not taking that baggage forward with you. And this is a blessing because it's like you need this space, or you need this energy to be cleared going forward, because it's like where you're going doesn't have any room for that baggage or that kind of energy to be brought into it. Okay, so it's actually really interesting blessing coming through. But let's take a look at what the challenges would be if you're to go down path B. Okay, so we have not unsuccessful plans. We have bridge, successfully overcoming a problem. And then we have door, opportunities are waiting for you. So what I'm seeing for the challenge is that, kind of similar to path A, things may not work out at first, or things may not work out the first time around, but it's like if you're able to see it through and really commit and dedicate yourself, you will find a solution to this problem. You will find a way to overcome this problem. And by crossing that bridge, it's going to lead you to a lot of opportunities. It's like, the phrase that's coming to mind is, if it were easy, everyone would do it. It's like there's obstacles so that, you know, only the people who are really serious about it, or who are really dedicated to it, or who are meant to do it, will find a way to overcome these obstacles. It's like, it's not for the faint of heart, is almost what I'm feeling. And by going down this path, there's not just going to be necessarily like people approaching you with all these opportunities, all these offers and everything. It's almost like you need to like earn your stripes first, or something like that. There's kind of like a fighting spirit here, and that if you can get through these struggles, these obstacles, that there's a lot of opportunities that will come in, a lot of doors will open up for you if you can get through this these initial struggles, is really what I'm getting. So it's interesting because it feels quite similar to path A, where it's like almost this need to be adaptable, where things don't necessarily work out in the way that you thought they would. But if you're able to be flexible and kind of see things from another perspective, you'll find a way to overcome this challenge and be able to grab hold of these opportunities. Because in both paths for the challenge, we had a card, we have carrot, opportunity or windfall, and here we have door, opportunities are waiting for you. So it's like, I don't think one path is necessarily easier than the other. They both have their challenges, but it's like, if you can get through those challenging times, there's a lot of opportunities that will be waiting for you. So let's see how you will feel about this path as you move along into the future and you're going down path B. How will you feel? We have strength. We have the Queen of Cups. And we also have the Six of Swords. I see you feeling quite peaceful. You know, this path has a very different energy than path A. In path A, I was feeling very like high strung, kind of. I was getting really hot and sweaty, which may be too much information, but That's just how it was feeling, okay? But honestly, with pile B, I'm feeling really calm, feeling chill. I'm not sweating anymore, which is appreciated. And like, do you see this strength card? She just got her eyes closed, like very at peace and in tune. It's like not feeling like you need to like fight or like try so hard. Again, it's almost this idea of like it being really natural to you, or like I could do this in my sleep kind of thing. I see you feeling like really creative, like so creative with the Queen of Cups, Empress, and Strength. Okay, Strength is ruled by Leo, and Leo in the 5th house are very creative energies, okay? So I don't know if this is like some kind of artistic path that you're going down, but I see you really using your intuition, using your past experiences, and using this kind of really playful, childlike, creative energy. And it's like, I feel like that's kind of the energy that you're operating out of. And it's like, I feel like you love it. Like you really enjoy it. What I love about the Strength card being here is it's like you have the power to be really ferocious and like be able to tame the lion, so to speak. But at the same time, you know that you don't need to be in that energy 24/7, and that there's also strength in being graceful and being poised and being calm and gentle as well. And I see you being in a really good space, like emotionally and mentally. With the 6 of Swords here, it's like you have walked away from like anything that is adding extra stress to your life, is what I'm seeing. It's like I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that shit anymore. I don't have time for, you know, unnecessary drama. I don't have time for conflict. I don't have time for this and that. Like, if you're not bringing harmony into my life, if you're not bringing peace into my life, if you're not making me happy, if you're not bringing me love, if you're not bringing me good vibes, like, kindly exit is kind of the energy that I'm getting. It's like, I feel like this is someone who really knows who they are, knows what they bring to the table, and because of that, they expect people to match that. It's kind of like, I don't know if you watch Lexi the Leo, but she says this all the time, where it's like, you know, I'm bringing a whole damn feast to the meal. You can't show up with your breadcrumbs and think that that's enough for me. It's like, that's what I'm seeing, and I don't see you feeling like offended or hurt or like anything. You just kind of like see people for what they are or how they are, and just being like, you know, you're not a bad person, but like you're not really adding much to my life, or like this situation, I'm just not gonna tolerate being treated like that, or I'm not gonna take on these projections that you're trying to, you know, shove down my throat. I see you taking yourself to just like a really peaceful, calm, grounded energy and operating out of that. I think you'll also feel much more spiritually connected. You'll feel more in touch with your own intuition. You'll feel more in touch with source, with your guides, with the universe. I feel like you'll see signs and synchronicities everywhere, right? Because I've been seeing so many during this reading. And it's like you're seeing things as, it's like a two-way conversation between you and the universe. It's not just you, you know, sending out a prayer and that's it. It's like you can see and you can feel and you can hear the universe talking back to you. And I think that that brings you a lot of peace and reassurance in knowing that and in experiencing that. As well as, I want to say, I think you'll also inspire a lot of people to create this sort of feeling in their own lives. Like, people are going to look at you and be like, how are you like this? Like, what's your secret? Like, what are you doing? I need to be in on this. And, you know, maybe that's what this crowd is about. Because I do see, I don't know, I see like a group of people or a crowd or like some kind of audience that is just like looking to you. Yeah, it's like it's like this. It's like you're the strength card and you're like in your fucking element, and then you have all these these people looking at you and they're like, not in a judgmental way, but they're like, what are you doing? Like, how do you let me in on your secret, please? So that's what this could be about. It could, yeah, some kind of like spiritual or just like a way of life or something that really works for you, that maybe you teach to other people. This is really interesting. So let's see what this path will require of you, okay? So we have not for you, number 6. So, okay, remember when we were talking about path A, and I had said that while I was preparing your cards, before I even pulled cards for this particular question, what will it require of you, that I immediately heard sacrifice. So I find it interesting because for path A, we have time to go, and for path B, we have not for you. So it makes me feel like either way, no matter which path you choose, if you were to choose either of these paths, that there's some level of sacrifice, there's something that needs to be left behind. It's going to require you to be strategic and assess, yes, okay, and assess what is actually worthwhile bringing with you into this journey. Because remember when we were talking about this reconciliation here, and I said that even if you have this reconciliation, it doesn't mean that this person will stay in your life. You know, maybe this is just about clearing out karma. Okay, it could be recognizing that there's just certain things that just aren't for you. Or maybe they were for you at some point, but now at this stage of your life, you know, after all these experiences you've had, all these revelations you had, all this growth that you've gone through, and now you're just recognizing like, hey, like, you know, certain people just don't resonate with me anymore. Or certain hobbies don't resonate with me anymore. Certain habits don't resonate with me anymore. This lifestyle doesn't resonate with me anymore. So it's going down this path is really going to require you to be, I'm hearing specific and critical. What's that word? Meticulous. Meticulous is the word. It's going to require it's going to require you to be very meticulous about what you choose to bring forward with you, or who you choose to bring with you. Because not everything is going to help you going forward. There's certain things that need to be left behind. And so you'll need to be strategic about what will be brought forward with you on this journey. Also, I can't help but notice, so, you know, in path A, we're talking about balance and duality a lot. We have 2 white cards and a black card, and then on path B, we have 2 black cards and a white card. I just find it so funny. Okay, but that's what I'm seeing for what this path will require of you. Now, let's take a look at how this path will change things for you. Wow, look at that. We have abundance. Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah. This is really going to change your material wealth, especially with the Empress being here. And we also had the 9 of Pentacles coming out on the back of the deck earlier while we were getting clarifiers for your blessings. So going down this path is really going to change your abundance. And yes, in a financial sense or a material sense, but I also feel like your measurements of success in path B will be very different than your measurements of success for path A. I feel like in path B, not that you're not concerned about financial wealth, because you are, and that's still going to come to you, but I also feel like you're measuring success in terms of like, how happy am I? Am I excited to wake up in the morning and get on with my day? Do I feel at peace? Do I feel joy? Do I feel freedom? Do I feel creative? I feel like you're looking at success in a more holistic approach rather than just solely focusing on material wealth. Some of you also I'm hearing like minimalism or minimalist. So you could be cutting down on a lot of things, right? Like this not for you. It's almost like, okay, here's an example. Let's say you've lived in the city your whole life and you've always loved shopping and you like have a lot of stuff because it brings you joy, and you like have a lot of books and you have a lot of movies and you have a lot of, I don't know, whatever it is that you like to do. And then it's like realizing one day that you may have all this stuff, but it doesn't actually bring you that like deep sense of fulfillment. So you decide that you're gonna sell your house or sell your apartment and you're gonna go live in a tiny house like off grid, right? So if you're living in this tiny space, it's gonna require you to cut down on your possessions. So it's like you go really minimalist, you take only the things that like really bring you a lot of joy or that have a lot of sentimental value. And then you're living in this tiny house, like, off grid in nature, and you're realizing that you may have less things physically, but you've gained so much more emotionally, mentally, energetically. It's like almost this like a breath of fresh air of like I don't need all of that stuff. What I have actually brings me a lot of joy. Interesting. Wow, that's really cool. I really love that. Okay. So let's start looking at some advice for you. So we have activated earth, power places, ley lines, trust where you're led. Yeah, trust where you're being led. It's like this path B feels much more spiritual or like personal in that sense, where what you're doing may not be fully logical, but you can't ignore what you're feeling. You can't ignore your intuition. And you're like, to some people it may seem completely irrational for me to sell my house, get rid of all of my things, move into this like tiny box that's in the middle of nowhere. But yet at the same time, like I can't ignore this feeling that I'm meant to go there. So it's like, don't worry about if things feel really like quirky or feel weird or feel odd or out of place. Like if it feels right to you, if it feels good to you, trust where it's leading you. Trust that the universe will only lead you to an outcome that is for your highest good. So another parallel that I'm seeing between path A and path B is that it's really going to require a lot of trust from you. Trust in yourself and trust in the universe as well. Okay, and our last card here is you and your loved ones are safe, new moon in Cancer. Yeah, I think, I think these two cards play beautifully together because it's like, trust where you're being led and trust that even if you go down this path, which may seem unconventional or that may seem, like really illogical to some people, that you will be taken care of. And I think your loved ones will come around to this once they start seeing, some like tangible results, or they start seeing how happy you are, once they start seeing how much lighter you feel. I really do feel like for some of you this is about moving, because Cancer rules the 4th house, which is all about our roots, our ancestry. It's about our home, our foundation. So the advice is to also really focus on laying the foundation for this new path so that what is built upon it is sturdy, right? Which is like the tower here. It often represents, it's like a castle built on sand, right? If the foundation isn't sturdy, what's built on top of it will not last. Okay? And so I feel like by going down this path, you will be laying a really strong foundation for yourself so that what you're building upon it will have much more longevity. This abundance will last much longer. It'll go much further. And I also find it interesting. So we have Scorpio and we have Cancer here. And both of these, like the Scorpion and the Crab, they're both very pinchy. They're both very pinchy and have like hard bodies or like a hard shell. And it's kind of like the Strength card, right? Where it's like, yes, you can be really strong, you can be really tough, you can be hard as nails, I'm hearing, and, you know, willing to defend what is important to you. But I also think that you have a softness to you as well, this like beautiful feminine energy as well. And I think your guides are really encouraging you to bring that side out more often, that you don't always need to be in this really like defensive or like hard exterior kind of state, that it's okay for you to let your guard down and to be soft as well. And again, I will say, this misunderstanding that was brought up earlier, it really could be about the mother, because we have Cancer as well. We have Cancer and the Empress here. So that may not be the case for everyone, but I wanted to point it out because I noticed it. But also some of the advice that I'm hearing, it's like celebrate this new beginning that you have with your loved ones. It's like let them in on it. I think they want to be included more. Of course, it's, you know, your path, your decision. You tell people when you're ready, and you always do what's best for you, even if other people don't agree with it. But for the people that you do really trust and love, I think they really want to be brought into this, and they really want to support you and help you and be included in this journey that you're going on as well. So that's something else that I'm seeing for you. But pile one, this is everything that I'm seeing for you. I'm going to end your reading here. Let me know in the comments how this resonated for you. I really hope that this reading brought you clarity and hopefully will help in your decision making with whatever your options are. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed watching, and hit the post notification bell so you never miss out on when I upload a video. I love you so much. Thank you so much for letting me read for you today, and I'll see you in my next video, guys. Bye! Hey pal 2, if you chose the Black Moonstone, this is going to be your reading today. So what we are going to be taking a look at today is Path A versus Path B. So before we get into the reading, it's really important that you take this time to assign one of your options to Path A and your other option to Path B before we get into the cards, okay? So feel free to take as much time as you need, pause the video if you need to, and assign your options to either Path A or Path B. Okay, while you're doing that, if you missed the intro, what we're going to be taking a look at today for each of these paths is we are going to be finding out the outcome, the blessings, the challenges, how you're going to feel about it, what this path will require of you, how this path is going to change things, and then we're also going to get some advice for you depending on which path you take, okay? So this is going to be a long one, so get yourself a snack, get yourself a glass of water, and get comfortable, okay? So we are going to go ahead and start with Path A first. So I'm going to move these cards off to the side. And let us begin by taking a look at what the outcome will be, which is going to be represented by these 3 cards here. So for Path A, the outcome, we have Justice, we have the Hermit, and we also have the Knight of Pentacles. Something I want to mention, I don't remember at what point I had heard this while I was preparing your cards, but I was hearing the song Believe by Cher. You know, the chorus where it goes, do you believe in life after love? I can feel something inside me say, I really don't know. I really don't think I'm strong enough. So I was hearing that song. I don't know how that may tie into this reading, if it will tie into this reading, or if that's just a message for someone, if you need to go listen to that song. So I just wanted to quickly throw that out there before I forgot. But so we have Justice, the Hermit, and the Knight of Pentacles representing the outcome for Path A. And what I'm finding really, really interesting here is these Roman numerals are mirroring each other. So we have XIIX. And I think it's also interesting because both figures are naked, and on Justice we see the front side, and on the Hermit we see the back side. So it's actually giving me this this feeling of being wholesome or holistic or all-encompassing in some way. Also, in both of these cards we have this beautiful halo around their heads, around their crown chakras. So this does feel like a very divine path, a very destined path, especially we have all these little stars here in the Hermit. And it's interesting because so Justice has her eyes closed, and then the Hermit is looking at her, and then the Knight of Pentacles is like also looking in this direction too. So I think this will be a fair outcome. Justice talks about actions and consequences, so it's making me feel like whatever you put into this path is what you're gonna get out of it. So if you're able to really dedicate yourself, be really consistent, work really hard, and I also want to say study or like learn or do your homework or something to that effect, I see this outcome being really successful and positive for you, because the Knight of Pentacles is, you know, all of those things that I just described. The Knight of Pentacles is on this kind of holy mission, if you will, and his only focus is this mission at hand, and he will do what it takes to complete this mission. He'll do what it takes to reach the finish line, to succeed, and there's nothing that can sway him off of his path. As well as the Knight of Pentacles is a very solid, grounded, reliable, and loyal person. This is someone who takes their time. This is not someone who rushes. And I would say it's a good example of the tortoise versus the hare. Like, the Knight of Pentacles is not in a rush. He's more concerned about getting the job done right than just getting the job done. I think that part of the outcome of this path is that it's really going to open you up spiritually. Whether you feel like you're a very spiritual person or not, I think it's really going to open your eyes a lot to the mystery of life, to the universe, to source. And you may start to realize things that you never noticed before, or have thoughts about things, see connections between things that you never really noticed before. I think it's really going to expand your vision and your understanding of what's possible in this reality, I want to say. And I would also say that this path is going to require you to be vulnerable in some way. So I don't know if you have some kind of message to share, or like if this is an artistic pursuit or something like that, or maybe going after a connection or a relationship, but there's this feeling of vulnerability or of being very open, being honest, being vulnerable. And I would also say that you'll have a lot of people watching you, like not in a creepy way, not in a creepy way, but people who are just like watching what you're doing. Like they, the energy of these people, it feels very like awestruck or awe-inspired, or they look up to you in some way, whether they actually tell you this or not. This is the kind of energy that I'm picking up, because like I said, it's like the Knight of Pentacles and the Hermit are both looking at justice, and then we also have, there's all of these eyes on the Justice card, and there's this little figure down here too. So I feel like there's going to be some kind of following, or just like a group of people. This could be like loved ones even. It doesn't have to be like strangers or something like that. But going down this path, you're really gonna be opening yourself up to, I want to say, like the will of the universe, and opening yourself up to your own capabilities, really learning so much about the world around you and your own inner world too. This almost feels like a path that doesn't necessarily have an end or a specific end goal. It almost feels like a lifelong journey of learning or growing in some way. So maybe you're students, or you're wanting to go back to school or wanting to learn. Yeah, because I said study before with the Knight of Pentacles. Even if it's not about school, this could even just be about, for example, like discovering your passion or working on your craft, perfecting your craft in some way, and sharing that with the world, being in service to others in some way. Okay, we're off to an interesting start, but this, the energy here feels so calm and still. Like I feel super zen right now. It's a very grounded energy, very, very still, very silent as well. So let's get more into this. Let's take a look at what your blessings will be on this path as you move along this path. So we have Lion, time to act. We have the month of December, as well as Weeping Willow, family sorrow. So just keep in mind that this is blessings, so don't panic about this Weeping Willow card. We're going to get into it. So what this is making me feel like is that the blessings that this path would bring you is some kind of retribution. I'm getting like a very specific scenario, so I don't think this is going to apply to everyone. This might just be like one person's situation, but I'm seeing it really clearly. But this might be about like if there was some injustice done somewhere in your family, like I'm seeing like a lawsuit or like people going to court or something, that going down this path could help like bring awareness to this, resolve this issue, or like wrap things up, like complete this difficult cycle, complete this difficult experience for you and your family, like bringing justice to someone's name. But if that's not the case, because like I said, it's very specific, what this is making me feel like is also like bringing honor to your family, making your family feel very proud. There's a familial influence here, but it doesn't feel like that kind of situation where, you know, maybe your parents are like, oh, you have to go to medical school and be a doctor and make this family proud because that's what's expected of you. It's not that kind of energy. It's very much like, it feels really humble, and it feels more like you wanting to bring honor to your family, or you wanting to do right by your family, or you wanting to make your family proud because they deserve it, or because they've gone through something really difficult. So the month of December could be very significant depending on when you're watching this. This is a timeless reading, but the month of December could be significant. As well as I want to say the month of August, because oh, you know what? Actually, I would say from August to December, because we have the line is making me think of Leo, which would be August mostly, end of July to August. And then we have the Hermit, which is ruled by Virgo. So that's August to September. And then we have Justice, which is Libra energy. So September to October. And we also have December. So I would say kind of like that last chunk of the year would be very significant for you. But with this time to act card, this blessing, it feels like finally getting some movement or momentum in a situation that feels quite stuck or stagnant. Because like I was saying, this energy feels very, very still and grounded. And you know, all three of these cards, these tarot cards, you know, reflect that energy as well. So if you're in that kind of situation where it feels like, you know, something's being dragged out, something's not moving along, one of the blessings of going down this path is that you're going to get this kind of rush of energy or motivation, or kind of having this like light bulb moment where something goes off and you're realizing like how you can take action. It's like an influx of masculine energy coming in where you're feeling ready to go out and actually do something about this, like taking matter into your own hands. Yeah, exactly, because December, this looks like an ice fairy or something. It just feels like something's been stuck, frozen, you know, stagnant. I would also say another blessing that this path would bring you is a lot of rest and peace as well. Because I'm thinking about the winter months and thinking about how, you know, that's when animals go to hibernate. And in a symbolic sense, winter is the season of rest and recuperation, where we really need to recover so that by the time spring rolls around, we have the energy to embrace all of these new beginnings. So that's also something else that I'm seeing for you. In terms of the challenges that this path would present to you, we have Fly, a period of ill health, depression. We have Victory in some endeavor. And we also have Happiness. Okay. So again, I don't want you to worry excessively about this Fly card here, where it says a period of ill health or depression. But what I do feel like the challenge for this path is that you may struggle to achieve the goal that you're seeking. And that's not to say that it's not possible, but I think that it will be a struggle. I think it'll really take a toll on you personally. I'm not really seeing any external challenges or challenges in your external environment. This feels very personal to you. I feel like it'll really take a toll, especially on your emotional health. as well as your mental health too. You may struggle with like not sleeping at night or insomnia or something, because they're showing me the 9 of Swords. You may experience like a lot of stress or anxiety or like nervousness. You may have a hard time grounding yourself, which is actually really interesting because the outcome here, it feels very solid and grounded, but I think the journey, the challenge of the journey of reaching this very stable, grounded energy is that you may feel ungrounded during this process, which is something to be aware of. And the energy that I'm picking up here with the challenge is that you may feel very sluggish, very lethargic, fatigued, not having a lot of energy, but feeling very burdened, like you have a lot on your plate, or there's a lot riding on this, there's a lot riding on you. A lot of like a big sense of obligation or duty coming through, where it's like, even though I feel like this, like, you know, I have to give my attention to this thing here. Like there's almost this feeling of like I can't rest, or I can't take time out to take care of myself because I need to handle this other thing, or I need to deal with this thing. So you may struggle kind of putting yourself first, which is interesting because I did talk about being in service to others. So there's almost a self-sacrificing kind of energy here, and you may really deplete or deteriorate your well-being in pursuit of this path. So that's something to really, really keep in mind here. And of course, energy is always changing. This isn't set in stone. So if you were to choose to go down this path and you have this information of what the challenges may be, you can incorporate, you know, this information or this wisdom into your path so that you're taking care of yourself during this process, so these things don't happen, right? I really don't want you to panic or worry too much. These things come up so that we're aware of them, and that so we can handle them differently if we choose to, right? You always have free will, and nothing is set in stone because we have free will. So don't feel like this is like the only outcome or the only, you know, result that would happen, or the challenge that would happen. Okay, everything's always changing. So these next 3 cards are going to represent how you will feel about this path as you move along it. So let's say you choose to go down path A, and some time passes and we're into the future now, and you're further along the journey of path A. How would you feel about this path when you're, you know, in the midst of it, instead of the perspective of on the outside looking in? So we have the Knight of Pentacles again. We have the 7 of Cups. And we also have the 6 of Cups. So what I'm seeing here with how you'll feel about it is I see you wondering if you made the right choice or made the right decision, because there's this feeling of like looking back, or this feeling of nostalgia. And I hear you saying like, am I being too righteous? It's almost giving me this energy of like chivalry. I see you at some point looking back and reflecting and thinking to yourself like, I had so many different options or choices, or like I could have changed my mind, or I could have gone down a different path or done things a different way, and did I make the right decision? Like, would things be better now if I made a different decision? Almost this feeling of doubt, like doubting yourself, or looking back to the beginning or looking back to past times and thinking like maybe that things were better then versus now. And I also hear you saying something like this isn't all it's cut out to be, or it's not completely what I thought that it was. Because I'm picking up this energy of kind of like someone wearing rose tinted glasses a little bit, where at the beginning you may have felt like this was the righteous thing to do, or the honorable thing to do, the right thing to do, and you may feel very passionate about it. And okay, because whatever this is, whatever this path is, it really strikes an emotional chord with you. And because it, you know, it feels like it's like an exposed tooth nerve, where it's like it feels like very sensitive, or like it really strikes a chord with you. And so because of that, you may not see the path in a realistic way. You may only really see what you want to see, or see things from like an emotional lens, or from a very subjective lens, rather than looking at things from different angles, or kind of removing yourself, or removing your emotions from the situation, and looking at things in a logical or practical or realistic type way. And this also feels like I get this feeling of loneliness or solitude. So this may be a very like individual path or journey. I don't really see, kind of like what I said before, I'm not really seeing a lot of external energies or influences or things happening in the environment. If this feels very, very personal, like even like a personal vendetta or something, or just like a personal mission, like I need to do this, I have to do this, there's really like a deep sense of obligation here. And I also hear you saying, I just want to find peace, or I just want to bring peace to something, to a situation, to your family, to something. Let's see, I have another tarot deck. I want to grab a couple cards. Okay, spirit guides, please, can you elaborate on how my pile 2s will feel as they move through path A? Ooh, that went back in the deck, okay. Can you clarify how my pile 2s will feel as they move along path A? Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. So we have the Nine of Pentacles, Death, and the King of Wands coming out. And on the back of the deck, we also have the Nine of Swords. Lots of nines, right? Because we also have the Hermit, which is the number 9. There's such a... I feel like you're very split, because I'm picking up 2 very different energies here. I'm feeling like on one hand, You feel very empowered. You feel very in control. You're taking matters into your own hands. You're doing this for you. You're doing this because you feel like you deserve this, or you deserve the outcome, or like somebody deserves this. But on the other hand, I also feel, because with this death card, like when I'm tuning into it, I'm hearing, I just wish this would end. And we also have this 9 of Swords on the back of the on the back of the deck, and then we have the King of Cups too. So it's like kind of like what I was saying earlier. I feel like it's really taking a toll on your emotional state and your mental state, and your it's like a lot of pressure that you're putting on yourself, or that has been put on you. Because it's interesting, both of these kings are looking this way, and death is walking this way. So it's almost like maybe trying to ignore this feeling of like, maybe I don't want to do this anymore, or just I wish this would end, or is this over yet, or, and like I'm just saying, like I just want to sleep, like I just want to rest, like I just don't really want to do this anymore. So Spirit's really wanting you to consider whether this path is something that you really want, or if it's something that you're doing for someone else because you feel obligated. Like, for example, let's say one of your parents like always wanted to be a lawyer, but they grew up poor and didn't really have the money to go to school, and they worked really hard to give you a good life and to give you an education, and they really want you to be a lawyer and kind of like fulfill this dream of theirs that they never got to achieve themselves. And so on one hand, you're like, yeah, I want to do this. Like, I want to do this for my parents because, you know, they gave me so much and sacrificed a lot, and I would love to make them happy in that way. But maybe on the other hand, you're like, do I really want to go to law school? Like, do I want to be a lawyer? Like, I don't fully hate the idea, but at the same time, like, no one ever asked me what I wanted, or no one ever asked me how I felt about it, or my opinion about it. It's something like that. I hope this is making sense. But that's the kind of energy that I'm picking up here with this. So now let's see what this path will require of you. And we have To the Sea. So this path is really going to require you to go with the flow and really surrender. It's funny because I was talking about feeling in control, feeling very empowered, like, you know, taking action and all these things. But this path is actually really going to require you to also surrender and be in flow with the universe. There may be times where you take certain actions, or you want to take certain actions, or like, you know, turn down a specific way, and the universe may block that off from you, or you may come into different challenges and obstacles that maybe you don't fully understand why it's happening. And it's because the universe is trying to direct you towards a more or just towards a better path. And again, we have this number 7 here. This is like I said, this feels like very spiritual. And again, like this feeling of like loneliness or being alone. Like this card here is actually making me feel kind of sad, which I've never really gotten with this card before. So this path will also require you to really just trust where the universe is guiding you, which can be really difficult when, you know, we have a certain idea of how we think things will work out, and when they don't work out in that way, you know, we really start to panic, like, oh my god, things are going really bad, things are going wrong, I don't know what to do here, I feel like I'm losing control. It's a difficult situation to be in, but if you can find a way to surrender and go with the flow, even if obstacles come up or if changes come up, if something spontaneous happens and you're able to just roll with the punches, it'll make going down this path a lot easier. Because you're not lost without direction. You have the universe guiding you, okay? Even if you can't see it, the universe will close certain doors to prevent you from going a certain way, but it will open other doors for you to lead you down a better path. And you'll always be given, you know, the resources, the signs, the opportunities, everything that you need to continue down this path. You'll receive everything as you need it. So this path is asking you to trust all the steps that you're taking, even if you can't see everything that's further down the line. Now let's see how this path will change things for you. And we have happiness. Wow, we have happiness twice. When I was preparing your cards, I remember this card flipped over. And it was kind of like what I said about this To the Sea card. But my immediate reaction to it was sadness. Like, it made me feel really sad to see it. And it makes me feel like that by going down this path, you may realize like what actually makes you really happy, what actually brings you a lot of fulfillment. Because you may start off this path thinking that this is what you want, or thinking that this would make you happy, but I think at some point you may realize that like maybe this isn't your happiness you're pursuing, it could be somebody else's happiness. Or it could just be that you thought that this would be something that really resonated with you, but because you've grown and elevated so much, like we're talking about at the beginning with Justice and the Hermit, and then here on the Six of Cups, we have all of these lotus flowers in this pond here. So you're really ascending and awakening to so much new information and perspectives about the world and of yourself that I think your definition of happiness will also shift too. And you may start to realize that maybe my true happiness actually lies somewhere else. It could also, something else that I'm seeing is that with this To the Sea card and happiness, we have these dolphins here. It's like, I almost feel like as well that by going with the flow on this path, if you're able to surrender and just go where the universe is guiding you, that it may lead you to something that makes you really happy, even if that thing is different than the end goal that you initially had started off pursuing, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. But that's what I'm feeling. There's a lot of water here. A lot about the emotions and your emotional state. So I think you'll really be finding out like what's really important to you, you know, what you really value in your heart. And, you know, finding out what we don't like or what doesn't make us happy is just as important as figuring out what we do like and what does make us happy. So don't feel like, if you're ever in this kind of situation, that like it was all for nothing, because that's not true at all. Your soul chose to come here and go through these experiences so that it can learn and grow for its own evolution. And there's no such thing as failure. There's just lessons learned and wisdom gained, and all of these experiences are so invaluable, is what I want to say to you right now. So let's get into some advice for you if you were to choose to go down path A. So we have I'm sorry, defenselessness, righting past wrongs, uprooting. Yeah, there's someone you need to forgive. This could be yourself, which actually makes a lot of sense because as we see here, we have this mirrored imagery, which is what we started off talking about at the very beginning with these mirrored Roman numerals here, XIIX. So there's something you need to forgive yourself for. But again, I'm getting this strong sense of family with the sweeping willow and this I'm sorry card. Because of all these roots, it's making me think of like our ancestry, our lineage. So again, it could be that maybe you're realizing that you're going down this path for someone else or for your family, and it's not really for you, or it's not really your path. And Spirit is really coming through to say that whatever the case is, that you really need to forgive yourself or forgive these other people. Of course, in your own time, because it's important to process it. We can't rush it. We can't fake it. And we're all going on a different journey of how long that would take. But this uprooting, yeah, it's making me feel like I'm almost seeing like a plant being pulled out of the ground, and you know, it has all the roots attached to it and everything, and then just being transplanted somewhere else where it can actually thrive and grow in the right environment. And I almost feel like that's you, that maybe you're this plant that has been growing in this one environment, and you know, maybe you've only been getting like a specific kind of nutrient and you've been lacking in something else, but maybe you never even question it because you're like, well, all the other plants around me are only having this nutrient, so I must only need this one nutrient too. Until you're transplanted somewhere else and you're given what you actually need, and then you start to see yourself like thriving, and then it's almost like maybe this feeling of anger or being upset or blaming others for not being able to give you what you need. So I don't know if that's somebody's situation, but there's an element of forgiveness that's coming through as advice from Spirit that will really help to free you if you choose to go down this path. Our other advice card is Prosperity Lies Ahead, New Moon in Taurus. So these cards aren't actually read reversed, but it came out reversed, and I remember because it flipped over, and I just remember feeling like it was meant to be in reverse for you. So this advice card, Prosperity Lies Ahead in reverse, again, it's this giving me this feeling of like, not that you can't find success on this path, but I think your true prosperity or truly getting what you deserve actually lies somewhere else, that you have a lot more potential outside of this path. And again, like, that's not to say if you're to go down this path, like, you would be like depressed and left with nothing and be struggling and feel horrible. Like, that's not the case. Like, there would still be success, there would still be prosperity and abundance, but it just wouldn't grow to the potential that I can feel that it has. It's kind of like I'm going back to this plant idea. I don't know if some of you are very connected with Mother Gaia, or if you have a green thumb or something like that, but it's almost like I'm seeing a plant that's in a little pot, and it's like The plant can only grow to as big as the pot allows it. And I feel like this path, the pot is too small for you. I feel like you need a pot that's like this big. It's like you need to be transplanted into a bigger pot, because there's so much more prosperity and like success and abundance and happiness in a different pot. But again, of course, this is your decision. You have free will. You do as you wish. Okay, so this was path A. I'm going to shimmy these cards over a little bit, and then we will get straight into path B. Okay, so let's look at the outcome for path B. We have the Sun. What a beautiful start. We also have the Empress. Wow. And we have the Moon. Wow. The Sun and the Moon. Oh my God, that's so funny. I just said, I don't know if some of you work with Mother Gaia or have a green thumb, and then we have the Empress coming out. So I feel like some of you really do, even if you don't realize it. I feel like you're very connected with Mother Gaia, very connected to nature. But the outcome for this path, right off the bat, I'm seeing a lot of success and a lot of abundance. This feels very divinely guided and orchestrated with the Sun and the Moon here. It's extremely balanced. It's extremely balanced with the Sun and the Moon, but there's also an emphasis on feminine energy with the Moon and the Empress here. So I see you being in this kind of energy where you're able to take action, kind of like we saw with this Lion card here. You're able to take action and really assert yourself and put yourself out there, but at the same time, you're also able to step into your feminine energy and be able to receive, to be able to go with the flow, and to be able to rest as well. Because if we're too much in our masculine energy and we're going and we're like constantly pushing at our energy, it's like you really need that pause and that break to allow information to come in, to allow blessings to come in, to be able to receive in a general sense, right? And with the Sun and the Empress here, it's like I'm seeing that whatever seeds you plant, I see them growing. It's like I'm seeing like a time lapse of someone planting seeds, and then I'm seeing like, you know, because it's a time lapse, it's like the sun comes out and it's the day, and then the sun goes down and the moon comes up and it's night, and it's just like day after day after day passes, and it gets sunlight, it gets water, and slowly these seeds start growing. They start coming out of the ground, they get taller, they get bigger, they grow leaves, they grow buds, they grow flowers, the fruit starts coming out, the fruit ripens, and then it's like, then you can enjoy all of this abundance, all of the fruits of your labor. This also feels like a very, very highly creative path, or the kind of path where you can utilize your creativity in different ways, where you're feeling very connected to your inner child and your intuition as well. And I'm hearing like the divine using you as a conduit for an expression of the universe, which is like very beautiful and very profound. So I don't know what this is. I don't know what this entails. If this is some kind of like artistic path about starting a family, pursuing a relationship of some sort. But there's a very like magical quality here. I feel like you would be encountering a lot of serendipity and synchronicities during this path, during this journey. But I see a lot of expansion with the Empress and the Sun, a lot of growth. I see that with the moon too, with the moon phases. It's like going from a new moon to a full moon, the moon grows, or it appears to grow to us. And I'm hearing, it's all good, baby, baby. Also, as part of the outcome here, I see you gaining a lot of clarity. And again, there's a strong feeling of like this being a spiritual path, or of you becoming a lot more in tune with your own true nature, authenticity, being able to truly express yourself, finding clarity about who it is that you really are, and your own special connection to the universe or to Mother Gaia. And I'm seeing a lot of enlightenment here. Like I'm also seeing, they're showing me the Ace of Swords. So gaining a lot of clarity about, about who you really are, or what it is that you want to do or pursue. I'm hearing like doing right by you, or honoring your instincts, honoring your intuition, trusting your intuition, being able to flow. Okay, wow. So let's get more into this. Let's see what the blessings for this path would be. I just saw 010101 on the camera timer. So this is making me feel like a lot of new beginnings, taking initiative, taking the lead on things. And zeros represent the void. This is where creation takes place, where anything is possible. So it's like gaining clarity on what it is you want to bring out to the world, what you want to create, what you want to birth, what you want to make. Okay, so in terms of the blessings, we have rat, someone working against you behind your back. Okay. We have ant, work, achievement, success. And we have tent, temporary situation. Okay. It's so funny, like preparing the cards for these readings, because a lot of the cards flip over when they come out. And it's just interesting because sometimes for the blessings, like this rat card feels like such a weird card to come out for a blessing. And then it seems like some of the blessing type cards come out for the challenges. But what I'm seeing here is that I feel like the blessing is like you don't need to worry about people like this, like people acting shady, people doing stuff behind your back, people ratting you out or gossiping, or like any of this petty kind of behavior. It's like you don't even have to worry about that. Like that's not anywhere even like in the peripheral of this. And so the ant here has a very clear message of work, achievement, and success. So success is guaranteed on this path for you. I think you'll really enjoy whatever it is that you're working on, or whatever you're trying to attain here, and that you'll reach a lot of milestones. You'll have a lot of achievements and a lot of genuine people supporting you and celebrating your wins. And what I find super interesting about this tent card, temporary situation, as we all know, nothing lasts forever. Everything is constantly going through a cycle and ending and beginning and evolving and transforming into different forms. And so whatever this is temporary, but not in a bad way. Like it feels really beautiful. Like it's not something that's going to be ripped out of your hands, but it's something that it's like you're going to enjoy it for a period of time, And then it's like at some point you'll feel ready to move on or move forward and do something new or create something new or evolve it into something else. That's really what I'm getting. And as well, we have there's a crescent moon in this 10 card. So that's something that you may not see. Oh, okay, interesting. I think this path, there's going to be a lot of beautiful surprises with the moon here. I think you'll have strong clarity about where you want to go, and you'll have a lot of intuitive feelings about things that may happen along the way or surprises that happen along the way. But Spirit's not telling all here. They're still leaving some mystery, and that's definitely letting me know that there's going to be a lot of surprises or maybe things that you just didn't consider happening, but it's a blessing, okay? It's like, you know, when you buy someone the perfect gift and you still have to wait like a few days before you can actually give them their present on their birthday or on Christmas or something, and you're just like, oh my god, like I cannot wait for you to open this present because you're gonna love it, but I can't tell you what it is because that's gonna ruin the surprise, it's gonna ruin the fun. And I see like that's kind of like what the universe is doing here with you. It's like they're giving you signs and confirmations for some things, but then on other things, it's very hush-hush, and it's more of a, you'll have to wait until we get there to really know what's going on here. In terms of the challenges that this path will present, we have Rainbow. The most difficult part of a situation is over. See, that's what I'm saying. It's like this kind of card feels like a blessing to me, but it's in the challenge. Okay, we also have older woman, dealings or relationship with an older woman. And we have wishbone, a wish is granted. So there could be someone either that you know personally, like maybe a family member or a friend of the family or a parent figure, a guardian figure, who may present a bit of an obstacle or like a challenge for you. So for example, maybe if like, I don't know, like you really want to be an artist, but there's a parent figure or a grandparent or someone who's like, no, like you need to go be an engineer or, you know, something. You need to be more practical with your life. I'm almost seeing something like that. Or I'm seeing this as some kind of person of authority who would be granting you something. Like if you put in an application for a job or an application for a home, an application to move to another country, a challenge might be some kind of like bureaucratic or something like that, like someone who has the power to make decisions or something. Or like, yeah, if you're going to an interview, it's like you need to impress this person, or you need to get this person to like you or something like that. And so with the tent, we were talking about how this temporary situation is a blessing, and then with the rainbow, we have the most difficult part of a situation is over, but this is a challenge. So you may know that certain things are temporary, but it may require a lot of patience out of you, and you may find it really frustrating, or you may be very impatient about like when this wait is going to be over or when this situation will be over. And like, you know, when can we skip to the part where I get what I want? That's like literally what I'm hearing. When can we skip to the part where I get what I want and I can walk out of these doors and I could just move forward with my manifestation in my hand and go live my best life? That's so funny. It's almost like like waiting to get your report card or waiting to get your grades at the end of your program and being like, oh my God, like I really hope I pass all of my exams. I hope I pass all of my classes. Like I just want to graduate. I just want to move on. It's giving me that kind of energy of like somebody else has to like give us the permission or grant us something or give us acceptance so that we can move on. So I see the challenge just being the waiting game is what I'm hearing. The waiting game, like waiting for a certain situation to be over so that you can move forward. So now let's see how you will feel about this path. So we have the King of Cups. Ooh, I just saw 11111 on the timer. Okay, we also have the Six of Wands. And we have the Queen of Pentacles. Wow. I see you really loving this path. I see you really enjoying it. I see this path bringing you a lot of fulfillment. Like on an emotional level, I feel like there's also a level of like mental stimulation here too. Maybe needing to be strategic about things or some kind of strategy being involved. I see you feeling really successful, feeling really confident, feeling empowered, feeling capable, feeling victorious. And not just you feeling that way, but other people feeling that way for you. Like the Six of Wands usually shows like a warrior who's just returned from battle, successful, victorious. And there's people on the sidelines like cheering them on and like, you know, celebrating and stuff like that. So I feel like you won't be alone in celebrating the successes that you have. I think a lot of people will be cheering you on. I also see you feeling really, really secure, feeling really grounded and stable in this path. And there's also like this sense of maturity coming through with the Queen and the King here. It's like this is someone who I'm hearing this is someone who knows what's up. Like this is someone who's very sure of themselves. And it's the kind of person who doesn't panic or buckle under pressure or under difficult circumstances. It's like I'm seeing the kind of situation where it's like, say there's a group of people and someone comes and like brings certain news and like everyone starts panicking and scrambling like, oh my God, okay, how are we gonna fix this? What are we gonna do? And then I just see you and you're this like pillar right in the center and you're like super calm and you're like watching everyone scramble and being hectic. And while that's going on, you're like calmly figuring out like the best course of action to move forward. And once you figure that out, you like rally everyone up and you're like, listen, you need to pull yourselves together. Okay? Don't panic. Like this is a plan. This is what we're gonna do. You start delegating specific tasks to everyone, being very clear in how you communicate, and then almost kind of like dismissing everyone goes off to do their thing, and it's like people can rely on you because it's like you have a good head on your shoulders is what I want to say. That's the kind of energy that I'm picking up here. I also see you feeling secure financially with the Queen of Pentacles and the Empress too. So this isn't just feeling fulfilled on an emotional level, but then struggling financially, you know, kind of like a starving artist. But I see you being very, very secure in your physical needs, in your physical world. So, you know, having a nice roof over your head, being able to eat healthy and eat the foods that you want, having the money to treat yourself, to indulge, to have luxuries and not just necessities. And I see you being able to like sleep sounder at night because of this, having so much security and having this emotional contentment as well. I see bringing a lot of peace into your life. So let's see what this path would require of you. Okay, we have here and now. So this path would really require you to be present and in the moment. If you start ruminating over the past or stressing out about the future, I think that will really lower your vibration. I think it can lead to you starting to doubt yourself. So I don't mean this in the sense of like, if you think about the past or you think about the future, like this path is ruined. Not at all. Of course we think about the past. Of course we think about the future. But it's when you stay stuck in those energies and you let it take over and you start to get stressed out, or you start to feel anxious, or you start to doubt yourself because of feeling stuck in the past or attached to the future. I feel like that's where things can start to get a little messy, or a little like falling by the wayside. So this path would really require you to be as grounded to the present moment as you possibly can, to enjoy the moment that you're in now, knowing that, again, everything is temporary. And that includes good moments and bad moments. So if you're going through a tough time, anchoring yourself in the truth that this moment or this situation is not going to last forever, and it too will eventually end and turn into something else. And also knowing the truth that if you're in a positive situation, if you're in a period of celebration or happiness, knowing that that too is also temporary, and enjoying it while you have it in your life, and being able to let that go with grace and compassion when that moment too ends and transitions into something else. That the most peace that you will find on this path is when you connect back to the present moment and what is happening right here, right now, in the second around you, is what Spirit is really driving home here. Now let's take a look at how this path will change things for you. And we have purity. It's interesting because this purity card is making me think of the December card here in Path A. Because I'm thinking about how it, like, you know, when you get that first snowfall, or you get a really big snowfall, and there's just a blanket of snow over everything, and everything is just like white and clean and crisp and like glowing. That's the kind of energy that I'm getting, where it's, I think going down this path would allow you to release a lot of what's not working, or release a lot of maybe baggage or karma or pain or wounds from the past, things that you've been carrying with you. It feels very cathartic in some way. And in this deck, there's also a card that says purification, and it has sunflowers on it, and it's raining in that card as well. And it's this card in the sun, it's also making me think of that purification card. So purity, purification, it's like there's a cleansing of some kind, there's a release of some kind, of letting go of things that are weighing you down, or letting go of things that don't belong to you, and having this fresh slate, like having a clean start, a new beginning, a blank slate, where you can make it into anything that you want it to be. And this is something that will have a lot of longevity as well, because we have all these pine trees here in the Purity card, or you may know them as evergreens, and they're a symbol of abundance and prosperity and health, because even during the winter when it's so cold and there's so much snow and not a lot of sunlight, they continue to grow and thrive, and they don't lose their leaves like other trees do. So I see this path having a lot of longevity for you. And there's just this there's this overall feeling of lightness, almost like a floating feeling, not in an ungrounded sense, but just feeling so light and free that if you could float away, you would. I hope that makes sense. But I will say this energy, the energy of Path B, compared to the energy of Path A, this energy here feels much more jovial. It feels more hopeful. It feels more content. It feels more assured. Like it doesn't feel wobbly. It feels very strong and stable. Like, I know what I'm capable of. I know what I want. I know that I can achieve this. I know I have the talents and the skills and the capabilities to make this happen. And I really trust myself. There's like no wavering doubt here. And even like when I'm speaking and delivering these messages, I feel more, I feel like I'm more sure of myself. And I know that's because I'm picking up on your energy. Whereas here, like, I felt really zen. It was really calm. It was like very silent and still. And like, I was even speaking more quietly, like speaking kind of more calmly. But here there's more of there's more of a fire. There's more of a passion. It's like, I don't need a script to tell me what I need to say. Like, I'm speaking from the heart and I can just tell you how I'm feeling. That's the kind of energy that I'm picking up from you. So now let's take a look at some advice for you if you were to go down Path B. So we have starbathing. It says light body, crystal grid, transmission, activation. So we have the sun, the moon, and now we have the stars. And we have a freaking rainbow. Are you kidding me? Like, this feels so magical and divine and mystical, and feels like something that was planned a long time ago. So something that I'm getting with this starbathing card is that you may work with astrology, or you may do astrology, or like feel inclined to learn more about it, or learn about the stars, about constellation, about space. And if you don't already, you're being encouraged to start looking into that. But kind of like how I was saying in Path A, there's this underlying theme of like ascension and growth and enlightenment. I do feel that here as well, but Path B kind of feels more like... So, okay, Path A feels like the road to enlightenment, and Path B feels like I've reached enlightenment and now I know what's going on and I'm very sure of myself, and now I know, like, I feel confident about where I'm going and what I'm doing. So there's this advice of giving yourself time to integrate your healing, these lessons that you've gone through, this wisdom that you've gained. I also feel like energetically you will have gone through some kind of upgrading or renewal in some sense that will require a period of integration before it can be activated in your life. As well as this card does talk about too, if you feel called to go to a specific place, like a certain city, or like to travel somewhere, that it could be because there's like an experience or a lesson for you that's waiting there. So if any of you have been very called to visit a certain place, that I see being part of the advice too. If you're able to travel, visiting this place could help bring a lot of clarity or a lot of healing to your life. Okay, and our very last card is it's time to take action, new moon in Aries. Look at that. So we we have time to act twice. Yeah, so kind of like what I was saying, it's like you feel this path, I see you feeling so much more confident and willing and able to take action. Like there's not a lot of self-doubt. There's not second guessing, questioning yourself, wondering if you're doing the right thing. It's like, I know what I want and I want it now. And like, even though I know that I can work with the universe and collaborate with the universe to manifest and co-create, I'm going to start taking matters into my own hands. Like I'm going to start taking actions, and it's like I'm going to start running towards the direction that I'm being called in, and I'm not looking behind me to see who's following me. You're like, I have my eyes set on something and I'm ready to take action. So I also see you, that's kind of like at the very beginning when I said there's a balance of masculine and feminine energy, but a slight emphasis on feminine energy. And now this final card here, this new moon in Aries, is more masculine energy. So it still feels very balanced. It's like knowing when to take action and knowing when to sit back and receive and let the universe do its thing as well. And because you feel so clear-minded on this path, and also very intuitive and connected to the divine, I have no doubt that you would know when is the time to take action and when is the time to step more into your feminine energy. So pile 2, that is everything that I'm seeing for you here. I really hope that this reading resonated for you. I hope that I was able to offer you some clarity about these different paths, these different options that you have. And please just remember that you always have free will. Nothing is completely set in stone, okay? You can change the future to be exactly what you want it to be. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed watching, and hit the post notification bell so you never miss out on when I upload a video. I love you so, so much. Thank you so much for letting me read for you today, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, friends. Hey there, pal 3. If you chose this Howlite heart, this is going to be your reading today. So we are going to be taking a look at 2 different options that you have, and it's really important that before we get into the cards, you take the time to assign one of your options to path A and your other option to path B, okay? So take as much time as you need. Feel free to pause the video if you need extra time as well. In case you missed the intro, what we're going to be taking a look at today is the outcome, the blessings, the challenges, how you'll feel about it, what this path will require of you, how this path will change things, and any advice that you need for both path A and path B, okay? So we are going to go ahead and get started with path A. So for now, I'm going to put these to the side, and let's begin by taking a look at the outcome for Path A. So we have the Seven of Cups. We have the Six of Swords. And we also have the Magician. So Pal 3, what I'm seeing for the outcome of Path A is you gaining a lot of clarity and pinpointing exactly what it is that you want to create or manifest or achieve. I see this path actually branching off into many smaller paths or many other directions that it can go in. And I see you reaching this point where you feel very clear or very sure about what specific direction it is that you want to go in. Oh my god, wow, I didn't even notice that on this Magician card there's literally two different paths. Wow, okay. But I see you really being in a position of empowerment and feeling in control, feeling like you have everything that you need to accomplish whatever it is that you're seeking to achieve on this path. And I see this path having a lot of potential for you. I think it'll be successful. I think this path will be successful, but what I'm actually seeing right now is more of how much potential it has. So going down this path could be kind of like the early stages of a path that's actually much longer, and maybe you would see your typical measurements of success further down the line than when you first start off on this path. But I see it having so much potential here with the Magician. It's like with the Magician and the Seven of Cups, it's like you can literally make this be whatever you wanted it to be. Like whatever you can dream, whatever you can fantasize about, like you can make that happen. And you can bring yourself in that direction. Look at that. We even, in the background of the Six of Swords, there's this pathway down here too. It's like you see exactly where this is going. I also see the outcome of success here depending a bit on how you can use your past experiences or the wisdom that you've gained or the skills that you have and alchemizing them in different ways to really help you reach success or reach the outcome that you're wanting to see. So almost what I'm getting here is like taking different things in your life that seemingly don't have a connection and playing around with those elements and kind of creating something new that will help you achieve this goal. So for example, like, I don't know, let's say you used to be a dog walker, and let's say you're also really good at graphic design, and you're also really good at making spreadsheets and analyzing data. Now, it may seem like those things don't connect, but it's like taking different elements of those things. So taking the empathy and compassion that you feel towards animals, and taking the creativity that you have in graphic design, and taking your skills of analysis and logic, and combining all of those things to create this new kind of energy that will really help to propel you forward into the success that you're looking for on this path. Oh, I'm hearing It's an R. Kelly song, which I'm not really a fan of, but it's I Believe I Can Fly, and there's like a line that goes, if I can see it, then I can be it. If I can dream it, then I can do it. Or it's like something like that. I'll put the lyrics up on the screen for you. But that's the kind of energy that I'm getting here with the Seven of Cups and the Magician. It's like, if I can envision it in my head, I will find a way to create that in my reality. I actually want to grab a couple extra cards to see what else we can get here. I'll be using a different deck to do that. I'm just going to give it a quick shuffle. Now I'm hearing Anywhere the Wind Blows doesn't really matter to me. So Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. So that's kind of making me feel like you're very open-minded or maybe flexible as to where this path goes. Because like I said, it feels like the path starts off like this, and then all of a sudden it like branches off in different ways. And it's like you could go this way or this way or that way or that way or that way. And it almost feels like maybe you're a little bit flexible or open to different possibilities that this path will bring you to. But let's see, Spirit Guides, please, for my pile 3s, can you elaborate on the outcome if they're to choose path A, please? For my pile 3s. What else can you tell us about the outcome of path A for my pile 3s? Okay. We have the Magician coming out again. Wow. Yeah. I see this, yeah. Okay. This is really honestly making me feel like this path will be as successful as you want it to be. Like, whatever outcome you want is the outcome that will happen, because we have the Magician twice, and that is you are the Magician. It's like it's up to you to create the outcome that you want. Yeah, well, that's fucking cool. But now I'm also hearing with great power comes great responsibilities. So it's like you may have this kind of freedom of choice, but then sometimes having a lot of options can feel debilitating, or you may get stuck into like analysis paralysis or something. But on the back of the deck now, we have the King of Pentacles. So it's literally like you can have anything that you want, or you can make it into anything that you want, and it'll be successful. Like, no matter what it turns into, it'll be successful and stable, and you'll have received a lot out of this. Wow. Okay. Who are you, pile 3? So, okay, actually, before we move on, I'm going to give you an example of what I mean by when I said that it feels like this path is going to kind of like branch out into different things. So let's say you're a musician, okay? You know, you can do a lot of different things with music. You could be an independent artist. You can do music for movies, for shows. You could do music for commercials. You could be a music teacher. You could like go on tour performing your music. You could do like YouTube videos of you doing music. You see what I mean about how there's just like so many different kinds of options that can branch off from just one thing, That's kind of what I'm seeing here. It's like maybe you're asking about something that's really general or really broad, and that's why there's kind of this feeling of like having so many different options. But let's move forward now and take a look at what your blessings would be if you were to go down this path. So we have the month of January. We have wreath, sorrow over a loss. As well as the vulture, depression, anxiety, worry that someone is against you. So I was saying this to the other pile, that sometimes it's been interesting because sometimes the cards that come out for blessings seem like challenges, and then the cards that come out for challenges seem like blessings. So it's been really interesting having to interpret these. But what I'm getting here with, I want to start off with January, because immediately this made me think of, you know, January is the first month of the year. It's this fresh start. You know, you always feel so motivated in January. You're like, I got my New Year's resolutions. I'm going to hit the gym. I'm going to be healthy. New year, new me. Like, the world's not ready for what's about to happen this year. And that's the kind of energy that I see coming in for you if you're to go down this path. That's one of the blessings of this, like, just that burst of motivating energy. Like a burst of passion, this fire, this drive to succeed, this ambition to accomplish your goals. And I'm seeing here, like, with sorrow over a loss, and then depression, anxiety, worry that someone is against you, you may feel that maybe people in your life won't be supportive of this path or supportive of, you know, your goals or what you're trying to do here. But it's just the worry. This isn't a fact, and this is coming out in blessing. So this is telling me, like, you have nothing to worry about. You're not going to lose anything or lose anyone by going down this path. No one is going to be plotting against you. Maybe you're wanting to pivot and kind of like do something completely different, and maybe you're worried about what other people will say, but I think people will be a lot more supportive than you think. Also, the vulture, it's making me think of, well, the vulture symbolically represents purification. So I also feel like by going down this path, especially with the Six of Swords as well, that by going down this path, it's actually going to remove a lot of unwanted or unhelpful things in your life. So maybe there is someone who isn't supportive or doesn't have your best interests at heart, but they get removed from your life and replaced by someone who does support you and does really love you and want to help you. Maybe a negative mindset is being removed and being replaced by this sense of hope and this drive to move forward and succeed. I see the universe really clearing a lot, both from your energy field and your path in general, and I just see like a whole clearing and a cleansing happening, especially in your energy field. So this could be even cutting cords and ties to any people, places, or things that just aren't serving you or that wouldn't serve you on this pathway. And this is a big blessing because it's basically like, imagine, I'm kind of seeing like a person that has these like strings that are attached to them and then anchored to the ground. And then it's like one by one, a pair of scissors comes and like snips all of these strings away. And all of these things that you felt were holding you back are now disengaged, and you're free to move forward in any direction that you want. Okay, so this is a really big blessing that's coming as part of this pathway. So in terms of the challenges that this path would present to you, we have wedge. Someone is trying to come between you and a friend or something you want. Interesting. I thought that this was a piece of cheese. We also have claw. Be careful, do not take risks. And then we have turkey. Someone is behaving stupidly. Okay. So you may be dealing with maybe some very competitive people or some very ego-driven people here. Maybe what this path is very competitive in some way. Because I'm kind of seeing like 5 of Wands, 7 of Wands energy here of like having to compete, having to fight, having to like defend what is yours. Or there may be people who try to sabotage you. I don't want this to scare you because I don't feel like in any way that they would be successful at this, but I'm picking up that kind of energy from the environment. I feel like you would still overcome these challenges, and that even if, you know, someone tried to come between you and this goal, that they would not be successful. And with the claw here, taking risks may present a challenge to you. So maybe the stakes are very high. It could be a high risk, high reward type situation. And so it wouldn't be something that you could just spontaneously jump into. It would require a lot of forethought and planning in order to ensure that, you know, you're weighing your pros and cons, you're weighing your risks accordingly and accurately as much as you can, so that you know what you're getting yourself into and in order to get the best outcome for you. So there's almost this as well, like a 7 of Swords kind of energy of really needing to be strategic, needing to be meticulous, needing to be very thoughtful and considerate about what it is that you're doing, and even maybe needing to be a little bit sneaky, but not in a negative sense, but just in a sense of like keeping your cards close to your chest and like not telling everyone what it is you're doing. Because I'm also hearing like infiltrate, so it's like if you know, spill all your secrets or you tell everyone what you're gonna do, it's like maybe someone will try to sabotage you, or maybe, you know, people will project their own insecurities onto you and like make you doubt yourself, and that will impact how successful this becomes. So it's almost like being very strategic and not letting everyone know what you're up to or what you're doing. It's like keeping your cards close to your chest for your own best interest until you're at a more like stable and grounded point where you could be more forthcoming with your plans or what it is that you've done up until that point. Yeah, like being selective with who you let in on your plans or your ideas or something like that. Because I feel like you're sitting on a gold mine of some sort, and you know, if you're sitting on a gold mine, you know, you want the right people to know what's going on. You don't want everybody to know what's going on. You just want those few select people that you can really trust, right? Okay, so now we're going to be taking a look at how you would feel about this path as you move along into it. So my intention for this is, let's assume that you're going with path A and you're walking along this path, and now you're kind of like in the midst of it rather than being on the outside looking into this path. And so how would you feel about this path once you're already in it? We have the Fool, We have the Six of Pentacles. And we also have the Two of Swords. So I feel like you'll actually be feeling a multitude of things here, because we have this Fool energy, which is ruled by Aquarius and Uranus, and we have this Earth energy with the Pentacles and then Swords. So both the Six of Pentacles and the Two of Swords can talk about balance in some way. With the Six of Pentacles, I'm hearing that you'll be feeling quite generous, or that you'll be feeling appreciative of people who have been generous to you along this pathway. Sorry, this is distracting me. I never noticed that there's lemons on this card. There's these 2 lemons up here, and there's one on this side. I don't know how that's significant, but I honestly can't stop staring at the lemons. How will you be feeling? There's something about the Two of Swords here that's making me feel like you'll be feeling stuck in some way. Or not necessarily that you're feeling stuck, but when you... Okay, I see what's going on here. Okay, so with the Fool, I feel like you're gonna want to be really spontaneous and adventurous and risk-taking. You may feel really excited about this path and like really passionate and impatient as well, and you may just want to, like, you know, jump off the cliff before thinking twice kind of thing. Which is exactly what the Fool would do here. But what I'm seeing is that Spirit is actually saying that you would find more success by weighing your options, or giving more weight to different considerations before leaping in. With the Six of Pentacles and the Two of Swords here, this is almost making me feel like you're gonna want to rush into things or want to jump into things, but you're gonna kind of pull yourself back and really make sure that you're weighing your options, you're looking at things from all different sides and angles, and not just looking at things from a logical or a practical sense, but also checking in with how it makes you feel as well. If you have any intuitive nudges about this, if your emotions are trying to tell you something about the decisions that you're making or the direction that you're going in. Let's see, I'm gonna grab some more cards for this. Spirit guys, please, can you clarify how my pile 3s will feel about path A, please? What's going on with the Fool, the Six of Pentacles, and the Two of Swords, please? Can you please clarify for my pile 3s how they will feel about going down path A? I'm hearing reckless abandon with the Fool here. Okay, so we have the Knight of Cups and the Seven of Swords coming out, or sorry, the Seven of Wands. Knight of Cups, Seven of Wands, and the Nine of Cups on the back of the deck. So you're going to be feeling really passionate about this direction that you're going in. You're going to feel... Didn't I bring up the Seven of Wands before? When I was... Yeah, with this like competitive kind of energy. It's like you're willing to fight for what you love. You're willing to fight for like this passion of yours. And you're going to be really feeling fulfilled on a personal level with the Nine of Cups here. This is feeling like a very personal kind of mission where it's like, I know what I want and I'm going after it. And it's like, this is all about your own sense of fulfillment and satisfaction and really doing something that you love and enjoy, and that really just brings that fulfillment to you. And And it's because you're feeling so passionate and emotional about this is why it'll also be important for you to kind of rein in that energy a little bit at times, just to make sure that you're not getting yourself into a difficult situation or being too risky with things when maybe you could have done something that was a bit less risky that would have been actually easier for you, instead of just kind of like moving forward without thinking twice, and then once you're in the thick of it, realizing like, actually, if I had just been a little bit more patient, I would have realized like this thing, and then maybe I wouldn't have done this and I would have taken this route instead, and that actually would have been like so much easier for me. And when I mentioned being generous, because it's coming up again, it's like, I think that you'll want to really give back to the people who've helped you along this journey, or give or provide advice or wisdom or resources to people who used to be in your position and who are wanting to go down this path. And so it's like the student becomes the teacher kind of thing, where it's like wanting to help people who used to be in your position, and now that you've continued further down this path and you've grown and you've gained more experience, it's like, oh, I wish I had someone, tell me this before I started. I just saw 33 on the timer. So that really just solidifies to me that you're really going to feel like you've grown a lot, you've gained a lot of wisdom, and also networked with a lot of people as well, which again ties in perfectly to what we were just talking about with the Six of Pentacles here, of giving back to people and other people helping you, and then you passing that forward as well. There's this like, yeah, kind of like humanitarian community networking kind of energy going on here with the Fool and the Six of Pentacles that I'm feeling. So now let's take a look at what this path will require of you. And we have co-create. Beautiful. So this path is really going to require you to work with spirit, work with the universe to bring this into fruition. This energy is similar to one of the paths from the other pile, where I was saying like there's this kind of energy where it's like, I know what I want, I'm gonna go get it. I'm not looking behind me to see who's following me or who's coming to help me. Like, I'm rolling my sleeves up and I'm willing to get my hands dirty and like work to get this done. And the universe loves to co-create with people like that, or people that have that kind of energy, because doing the work is part of the manifestation process. And a lot of people leave that out of the equation. Okay? We can't just put an intention out there and then sit back and wait for it to fall into our laps. We have to express to the universe what we want, but we also have to be willing to take actions, right? Because without taking action, it doesn't get any of the energy moving. So while I think it's so amazing that you're willing to just do this all on your own, and I have no doubt that you would be successful doing this on your own, but this path is actually going to require you to surrender a little bit, surrender some of that control, and hand that over to the universe, and also allow the universe to do its part in manifesting this for you. Okay, we had the Magician coming up twice, so I'm not entirely surprised that we have co-create here. So that it could be something that you struggle with. I mean, maybe not. Maybe some of you will be more open or more welcoming to surrendering at certain points. But I think for some of you, this will be quite difficult to kind of step out of this masculine energy and step more into your feminine energy, where you're being more receptive and being in the flow. Because while we're in that kind of feminine energy, that's when the universe can start orchestrating things and bringing things together and bringing things to us because we're in a state to be able to actually receive it. If we're constantly doing and pushing out our energy, that's not very conducive to welcoming and receiving, right? So I see that being what this path is really going to require from you. This card here is going to represent how this path is going to change things for you. So, oh my God, we have taking risks again. This is crazy. We had the claw that said, be careful, do not take risks. Then we had the Fool, and now we literally have the taking risks card. So, oh, okay. So you actually may be quite cautious by nature or more reserved by nature, or more conservative, and maybe taking risks for you is really outside of your comfort zone, or maybe you don't really do it that often, but there's something about this path that is making you feel more willing to take risks. It's kind of turning you into the kind of person who is more open and able to take risks because there's a stronger foundation of trust behind that, right? With this works beautifully with co-creation because, like I said, we need to surrender in order to let the universe step in and help us. And that can feel like taking a really big risk. And maybe that's not something that you're used to do, but by having this underlying trust and faith that the universe is helping you to deliver your desires, your dreams, your goals, whatever this is really going to help you take risks. And I think that you'll become more and more comfortable taking risks as you take more risks. It's kind of like anything else. The more that you do it, the more comfortable you become at it because it becomes more familiar and you start to learn, the tricks of the trade and things like that. So, and especially because we had the 9 of Cups on the back of the deck earlier, I feel like you're really going after like this specific desire or dream or goal that you've always had, that you've always wanted to do. And I think the only way to do that is for you to take this risk, to take this leap of faith. And that's really going to change things for you. It's like taking this risk is going to change everything. And I love that we have the hawk here in this taking risk card because it's like, you're not alone. Like Spirit's right there with you, watching you, guiding you, protecting you, leading you, okay? There to catch you when you take this leap of faith. So let's start looking at some advice for you. Advice for if you were to go down path A. So our first card that we have is karmic relationships, Orion energy, polarity, soul growth, conflict. Yeah, this is kind of like what I was talking about before, where with this vulture energy, how one of the blessings of this path is that whatever's not working and whatever's not aligned with you is going to be removed. And I think that this will also include some karmic relationships. Or just relationships in general that don't, like people that don't genuinely support you, that are jealous of you, that maybe have false intentions with you. It's like those types of situations are being removed, and it's for your highest good so that you can move forward without that baggage. And that as you go along this path or this journey, there may be people who have a problem with it. There may be people that try to bring you down. There may be people that will project their insecurities or their doubts or their fears onto you because they see you going after your dream. And that really triggers them because all it does is highlight to them the fact that they're not pursuing their dream or that they're not confident enough to do what you're doing in their own life. And Spirit is saying that this is not a reflection of you, and what they're saying has no merit, and not to take it to heart. because it has more to do with how they feel about themselves and their own life than it does than it's about you. So as well, what I'm getting with this is that going down this path is really going to reveal people's true colors to you. And I think that you'll really be finding out who's really on your side and, you know, who doesn't have your best interests at heart. But Spirit is saying it's better to know the truth about how a person is than to stay in ignorance and allow that person to be an anchor in your life. Okay, and these may not be bad people, but it could just be that they're not adding anything valuable to your life. Maybe they're just holding you back in some way. Okay, and that's a whisk. Oh my God. I've been talking for so long now. I don't even know what's happening. But that's a risk that you'll have to be willing to take if you go down this path. So this is not so much advice. This is just Spirit wanting to bring this to your attention so that you're not caught off guard if you see a lot of people coming and going in your life as you go down this path. But that no matter what, it's always for your greatest good. Whether someone leaves or whether someone enters your life, it's for your highest good always. And the last card that we have here is you're very close to achieving your goal, Gibbous Moon. So what this is telling me is that you're on the right path, or that, you know, if you go down this path, you're going down the right path, but that you're not quite there yet, that there's still work to be done, but that the direction you're heading in is overall a positive one. And to take that same energy that you felt in the beginning, this drive, this passion, this ambition, this motivation, and to inject some of that later on to your journey. Because it's like I'm almost seeing, I'm going to give you an example. I used to run. I used to do like long distance running, and I used to do track and field as well. And I was never really good at long distance running, but I did it anyways. And, you know, at the beginning, it's great, right? Like you have all this energy, you're like hyped up, you're ready to go. You're like, okay, we got this. And it's easy to feel like that at the beginning. It becomes very difficult as you continue to run the race and you become more tired. Your body starts to ache, you get cramps, you're exhausted. You want to just like stop and lay down and like take a nap. You could be cold, it could be raining and you're all wet and like your shoes and your socks are wet and you're all muddy. It's very difficult. But then it's like you turn a corner and it's like you see the finish line there. And it's like, I feel like that's what this is saying. It's like that final stretch may feel quite difficult. And if that's the case, to think back to the beginning and to take that kind of energy of motivation and drive and ambition and all of that, and allow that to kind of like re-energize you so that you can push through to the end. Because I think that this journey will really, it will take a lot from you, but it's not in like a detrimental, like depleting kind of negative way. Because it's also going to give a lot to you. But I just feel like you'll need this kind of extra push to get to the end. Okay, so I'm going to shift these cards over a little. And we are going to take a look at Path B. So I was just hearing Don't Stop Believing by Journey. I don't know if that's in regards to Path A or Path B, or maybe a message that you need to hear in general. So if you feel called to, feel free to listen to that song after you finish watching this. But let's go ahead and get started with Path B. And we will be starting off by looking at the outcome. So we have the Nine of Pentacles. We have the Page of Pentacles. And we also have the 10 of Wands. For path B, I see this having the potential to grow into something extremely stable and successful with the Page of Pentacles and the 9 of Pentacles. But I also think that it will be a bit of a difficult journey as well with the 10 of Wands. So it almost feels like success, but at a price. So for example, this could be if you were to start your own business, right? You will have to work really long hours, you know, you will work on the weekends, you'll work in the evenings. You may have to, you know, sacrifice going out with your friends and spending money on stuff so that you can save up money to start this business. And it may take some time for your business to start making money. It's that kind of example where it's like you'll be successful, but I think that the journey will be a bit difficult. It'll have a lot of responsibilities, a lot of obligations, but at the same time, like, it will provide you with a lot of financial abundance. The 9 of Pentacles is someone who's self-made, self-sustained. This is someone who knows what they're made of because they've fought through this journey and have worked so hard to get to the point where they're at now. And it's like they know what they're capable of, and like nobody can tell them anything. I see a lot of security in terms of your physical needs, being very financially stable, having a beautiful home, having beautiful clothes, having the luxury to go on vacation or indulge yourself in things. The 9 of Pentacles is like a treat yourself kind of energy. And the Page of Pentacles is someone or something that has so much potential to grow. And because this is Pentacles we're talking about, this is like tangible success, tangible effort being made to reach this level of success. So for example, path A felt more of a emotional satisfaction type of journey, where it's not to say that there is no financial success here, and it's also not to say that there's no emotional fulfillment here, but I see path B being more focused on wealth, finances, abundance, the material world. I also see your health improving going down this path as well overall. I kind of want to grab a couple cards to see what else we can get from this. One thing that I will say with this path is to be cautious or wary of burnout with the 10 of Wands here. You're definitely, what I can see between these two paths is you're the kind of person who's extremely hardworking and dedicated, very, very ambitious. And the risk of that is overworking yourself to the point of burnout, to the point of falling ill. We don't want that or those types of things to happen in the pursuit of achieving our goals, right? We want to be able to not only nurture our goals, but make sure that we're nurturing and taking care of ourselves at the same time, right? So let's see, Spirit Guides, please, can you elaborate on what the outcome will be for my pile 3s if they were to choose path B? What would the outcome be if my pile 3s choose to go down path B, please? I have to say, this group, I don't know why, but when I'm shuffling this extra tarot deck, it feels really weird. And I don't even know in what way. It feels kind of like clunky. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but I thought I would share that with you. So Spirit Guides, is there anything else that you can tell us about the outcome? Thank you. So we also have the Page of Wands, as well as the Eight of Wands on the back of the deck. Yes. Okay. So again, this reiteration of having so much potential. I see things moving very quickly on this path with the Eight of Wands here. Yeah, and with Temperance, exactly. So like I was just talking about burnout and overworking yourself, I feel like things will move very, very quickly, and that you're going to be so just like enthusiastic and excited and even restless, I want to say, about working on this, which is probably why we have this Ten of Wands here, because when we're so drawn to something and we just like feel it on that soul level, it's like you have this spark about something that it's like you can't help yourself from constantly thinking about it or constantly working on it. It's like you live it, eat it, breathe it, sleep it. It's like 24/7 on your mind. And then with Temperance underneath the Eight of Wands, there's really this strong encouragement to balance this kind of energy out so that you don't hit burnout. And it was like I was saying, I brought up health, where it's like I see your overall standard of living or way of living increasing, being more fruitful, being more beneficial to you. But at the same time, I think you'll be feeling as well more stressed, more burdened, have a lot of responsibilities, have a lot of things weighing on you. You may not have a lot of support. And I don't mean that in the sense of like people aren't supporting your ideas or anything, but I feel like it's something that you're working on by yourself. So like, for example, if you're starting your own business and you don't have a business partner, then it's probably going to be just you who's like doing all of the work, right? So with Temperance here, there's this a really strong message coming through of to make sure that you're taking care of yourself and your physical needs, your emotional needs, your mental needs, and that you're finding a way to healthfully, is that a word? I don't know. Healthfully unload this weight that you feel at the end of each day. So like, having some kind of exercise regime, or making sure that you're eating healthy, staying hydrated, getting enough sleep, making sure you're balancing your time by also playing and having fun, hanging out with your loved ones, things like that, having time for your hobbies. Because with the Eight of Wands, I feel like you'll be very, very busy. Things will be moving quickly. There's going to be a lot going on. I think you're going to be pulled in a lot of different directions. And like even the energy of this, I feel like it's hard to breathe. Like I just feel like I've been running around the house, like doing a bunch of things. So there's really this, a need to really ground yourself. And give yourself time to rest as well. So let's move forward. I want to take a look at what your blessings will be on this path. So we have the Funnel, Period of Frustration, Lessons to be Learned. We have Parrot, Someone will gossip about all of your secrets. And we have the Axe, Forces working against you. Okay, so please remember that this is blessings that we're talking about. I don't want you to be scared or panicked about these cards here. What I'm getting with the Funnel is that I heard like some kind of bottleneck is going to be clearing up. So if you have felt stuck in some regard to this path, it's going to be clearing up. It's like it's all trying to be, all this stuff is trying to be shoved down through this little opening here. And you'll get to that point where things kind of get pushed through and you get over that obstacle. But something that I'm getting is it's almost like be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. Because we have this period of frustration here where it almost feels like things are stuck and not moving. And I see you really working hard, or, you know, trying to get this movement to come in. But then it's like, remember I said with this Eight of Wands, it's like once you start moving, like things are going to be moving really fast. Okay. So it's just something to keep in mind. But I think any worries or fears about people working behind your back, you know, people gossiping, people judging you, you know, things not working in your favor, I see these all just being fears, but not reality. But I'm gonna also pull extra cards for this, because I think these are interesting cards to be coming out for blessings. So let's see, Spirit, please, can you tell us any more about what blessings Path B will bring to my pile of threes, please? What can you tell us about the blessings that Path B... Ooh, that went far. So we have the Three of Wands reversed. Okay. We also have the Eight of Swords reversed. Oh, I love that. And on the back of the deck, we have the Six of Swords. Yeah, exactly. This Eight of Swords reversed is exactly what I was saying. It's like becoming unstuck, freeing yourself, being free not only of whatever you felt like was holding you back, but also like being free of other people's judgments, other people's opinions, you know, other people's projections. You're moving on from that. You're moving on from that. You're moving away from that. And with the Three of Wands reversed, what I had heard immediately was this feeling of coming home. It's like you're going back home, going home to yourself. That's what this path will feel like. Or maybe it will bring you on a path to literally go back home. So like if you've moved away from home, you could be going back to your hometown. Or for others of you, this could even be about like going back home to your motherland. Like if your family is from a different country or something like that, you could be going on this path of going back home in that sense. But this could also just be feeling at home within yourself, feeling very comfortable with this path that you're on, the position that you're in, who you've become, and just feeling very comfortable, feeling very assured. And most importantly, just feeling really free to move in the direction that you want and make your own decisions. It's like you don't have to confer with someone else anymore. You don't need to ask permission anymore. You don't need to wait for someone's opinion or someone's answer on something anymore. It's like you can just make your own decisions and go. Like you're not waiting on anyone or anything. You can just do it. So I really love that for you. I'm glad that we got those extra cards. Now let's see what the challenges will be. We have Finger, warning you of a problem either now or in the future. We also have Harp, great happiness. Great happiness? I don't know if I said grape. But do you see what I'm talking about? It's like this is a challenge, but I feel like it should be a blessing. And then we have Yoke, feeling tied down or frustrated. That's exactly what I was just feeling. So it's interesting that we had the Eight of Swords in reverse coming out, and then as a challenge we have feeling tied down or frustrated. So while I feel like you will receive this kind of freedom with the Eight of Swords reversed and this Three of Wands reversed, that you will only attain this sense of freedom after an experience or a period of feeling tied down and frustrated. Because sometimes it's like we are put in these kinds of positions to really light a fire under our ass to get us moving. And it's like, you know, sometimes we need to have a breakdown to have a breakthrough. And I almost feel like that's what's happening here. It's like maybe this period of frustration and like feeling tied down, feeling restricted, feeling like you can't do what you want. And it builds and builds and builds until one day you're finally like, you know what? I'm done feeling like this. Like, I can't just sit here and wait for someone to come save me. Like, I'm gonna liberate myself. That's what I'm feeling here. So it's not to say that this great happiness is gonna be hard to come by, but I think that it will come following like this period of maybe feeling really frustrated. But I want to get a clarifier on this finger. I want to know what this problem is. Spirit guys, please, can you clarify the finger? What is this warning of a problem now or in the near future for path B for my pile 3s, please? What is this finger about? If you can tell us. I mean, this could simply just be about feeling frustrated, feeling tied down. But let's see what Spirit has to say. Is this the card? No. Can you please clarify the finger here? What is this warning of a problem, please, for my pile 3s on path B? Okay, so we have the 6 of Swords coming out again with the Fool on the back of the deck. Yeah, so I feel like this is saying that you may see red flags as this period of frustration kind of builds, and you may not notice it at first, or the reason that Spirit is bringing it to your attention is so that you become aware of it, so that this period of frustration doesn't go on longer than it needs to, and that you can just take matters into your own hand and really liberate yourself with the 6 of Swords and the Fool here. It's almost like, what's that? Like getting ahead of the problem, I guess. It's kind of, okay, I don't know why this is the example that's coming to mind, but the example that I'm being shown is, let's say you have plans to go out to a bar with your friends and you know that you're going to be drinking. So it's like, in order to avoid feeling hungover tomorrow, let's get ahead of the problem and make sure that, you know, I'm staying hydrated throughout the day, that I have a really hearty meal before I go out drinking. When I get home, I'm going to drink a shit ton of water. I'm going to have a Gatorade next to my bed. I'm going to have a bottle of Tylenol next to my bed. I'm going to make sure I eat something to, you know, soak up all the alcohol. And I'm going to make sure that I get home at a reasonable time so that I get some good sleep. It's like, it's something kind of like that, where it's like Spirit is just wanting you to be aware of this so that you can kind of get ahead of it. So I hope that makes sense. So now let's take a look at how you will feel about this path. So we have the Hermit. I'm pretty sure the Hermit has come out at least once for every pile today. We also have the Two of Cups. And we have the Eight of Wands again. So I actually love to see this because, you know, at the beginning we were talking about how important it will be to make sure that you don't hit burnout. But I actually see that further down the path, how you're going to be feeling is pretty in control. with the Hermit and the Two of Cups here, it's like you're taking the time out to really reflect about how you're feeling and reflect about everything that's going on. You're taking these moments of solitude where you can be with yourself and really tune into how you're feeling, really tuning into any concerns you may have, reflecting on where you've been and where you're going, everything that you've learned, integrating these lessons and this wisdom so that you can move forward, being in a better position than you were before. And with this Eight of Wands, like I see you being very free. There's a lot of movement. It's very dynamic. There's a lot going on. You're very busy, but it seems to be very fulfilling to you with this Two of Cups. And you seem to be really enjoying it. There's a deep sense of fulfillment here. This really feels like a spiritual journey, especially because this group chose the Howlite. This is connected to the crown chakra. And with this Eight of Wands, the Hermit, it feels very divine. It feels very like it came from source. And that's where all of this passion and this drive and this motivation comes from, because it's not coming from a place of ego. It's coming from your soul. So I see you being very balanced between having a lot of fun with it and like working really hard and being serious about it, and also taking the time out to reflect, to rest, to contemplate, to make sure that you're doing things right. I said this in another group, but it's like, it feels like you're more concerned about doing it right than just rushing and finishing it. It's like you're really taking time to stop along the way and be like, okay, like, am I happy with where things are going? Like, how can I make this better? You know, what do I need to improve on? Is there anything that I can do different? What do I need right now? Like, do I need to take a break? Do I need a vacation? Have I been slacking too much? Do I maybe need to dedicate more time to this? Like, I see you being very reasonable and like really assessing the situation and looking at things from like different angles, and like you're really concerned about just making sure you're doing it right. And I don't mean concerned in the sense of like you're worried, but you're just wanting to be sure that like you're doing things right. It's like you don't want to half-ass it. You don't want to just do it to do it. You don't want to rush it. You're like, I'm actually really serious about this, and I actually really enjoy what I'm doing, and I want to do right by it. So let's find out now what this path will require of you. And we have the never-ending story here. So this path is going to require you to close out some old cycles that don't really have a place where you're going. So this could be, for example, you know, maybe a negative mindset, or maybe a theme of self-doubt, or, you know, criticizing yourself, or being really hard on yourself, or whatever it is. This could even be like a cycle with another person, because I'm looking at this karmic relationships card. I know that that's for path A, but I'm really seeing a connection here. But it's really going to require you to close out a difficult cycle that has been going on for some time, or if it hasn't been going on for a long time, it could simply just be that it has a very strong impact on you, and so it's difficult to end the cycle in that sense. But know that whatever is ending here, the reason that it needs to end is because it no longer resonates with who you're becoming on this path. Okay, the person who is stuck in this cycle, whatever it may be, is not the same person who I see on this path here. And so it's really going to require you to close some doors and really release some things, which may be very difficult. There's no doubt about that. Endings can be quite hard. But it's almost like Spirit is almost saying, like, which do you want more? Which do you prefer? Would you rather be comfortable or feel familiar in this kind of cycle that you're in that isn't providing a lot of goodness to you? Or do you want to close out that cycle and step into this new chapter where you're feeling so much more motivated and ambitious and driven to accomplish your goals? Because where you're going, I see someone who's really confident and self-assured, and there's no room for these big feelings of doubt or fear or insecurity. And I don't mean to say that like you need to be totally void of those things, okay? Because of course we have doubts, of course we have fears, of course we're insecure about things, but there's a difference between feeling those things and saying, I hear you, but I'm actually gonna move forward and do this anyways, versus feeling those feelings and being stuck there and allowing them to keep you prisoner. Oh, that's right. We had that Eight of Swords reversed earlier. Yes, you're liberating yourself. So yes, exactly. It's really going to require you to close out this cycle and free yourself from what has been holding you back. Now, in terms of how this path will change things for you, oh, wow, we have Voyage. Wow. Yeah, this is really going to take you on a journey. I think this path is actually much bigger than what you think it is. And what was I? Oh, it was when that Three of Wands reverse came out, and I was talking about that feeling of coming home. And with the Hermit here, yes, there's this this inner journey of not only discovering who you are, but also I really do feel like where you came from as well. So again, this idea of going back to your hometown or visiting the motherland, wherever that is for you. I think it's really going to change your life, this path here. You know, I actually want to read this card out of the book for you, so give me a sec. I'm going to grab that. I didn't do this for any of the other cards, but I really feel it for you. Okay, so it says humpback whale. Humpback whales make the longest journey of any mammal. They travel 14,000 miles or 22,000 kilometers every year. They spend the summer months near polar regions, and in the winter they journey towards the equator to tropical water. Among some native tribes, whales are considered to be protectors of travelers and journeyers, as well as guardians of the sea. This card indicates that no matter what your journey is and where it takes you, you have protectors at your side. And that's exactly what I was feeling with this taking risks card, how it has the hawk in it. I just saw 3333 on the timer, in case that's relevant for you, but it's kind of the same thing. Okay, so it says, get ready. You are about to embark on a journey. It may be an inner sojourn or an outer voyage to a distant land. Are you kidding? I have fucking goosebumps right now. Oh my god. I am so happy I'm reading this out of the book. This is so fucking crazy. Okay, I'm gonna read that again. Get ready. You're about to embark on a journey. It might be an inner sojourn or an outer voyage to a distant land. It might be a project or idea that is coming to life, but most certainly you're an intrepid traveler sallying forth into the unknown. Where do you want to go? What have you always wanted to do or be? This is the time to make it happen. Get prepared. Have a clear vision of what you want to experience, but also be prepared for the unexpected. That is part of the exhilaration of being a traveler. Remember to enjoy the journey as much as reaching the destination. I literally have so many goosebumps on my whole fucking body right now. literally, like, I just want a mic drop after that. Okay, I have nothing more to add because I'm speechless. So on that note, let us look at your advice for your journey on path B. So we have the golden children, inner child, tenderness, innocence, rare gifts. Wow. So yeah, you know, and that makes sense with going on this inner journey and why you feel so like passionate and motivated to do this and why you enjoy it so much is also because you're getting in touch with your inner child. It's like, I feel like this path is doing what your inner child actually loves to do, and it's bringing out a lot of your just natural innate skills and talents and abilities, which some of them you may be aware of, and some of them I feel like will be revealed to you as you move down this path. And I find it so interesting that we have the inner child and we have the hermit here, because it's like, to me it's kind of like the same but different, because it's like the hermit is an old soul, it's the wise sage. But the innocence of the inner child also has so much wisdom and information for us as well. And there's this really interesting parallel and also balance between your inner child and like the wisdom of your soul coming through. And so Spirit is saying, like, if you feel lost or confused at some part of your journey here, that all you need to do is connect back to your inner child or connect back to the wisdom of your soul, and they will have the answers for you, and you will very easily receive the clarity that you're looking for and understand what direction that you need to move in going forward. Wow. I also just want to say, like, this card like never comes out. I've only seen this come out like maybe 2 times since I've had the deck. So there's something very special about you. And there's also something very special and unique about this path as well. Taking a look at our last card, we have Hold Your Vision, Fixed Moon. So the advice here is don't give up. Keep this vision of what you want locked inside of your frame of reference, in your not peripheral vision, in your direct eyesight. Like, don't for a second lose sight of this goal, this dream, this ambition, whatever it is, because you're gonna get there. Okay? Don't let any obstacles that come up sway you from this. Don't make anyone or anything feel like you can't achieve what it is that you've set out to achieve, because you can and you will. As long as you hold on to this vision, hold on to this dream that you have, and continue following your intuition, your soul, your inner child, and this path that the universe is guiding you on. So pile 3, that is everything that I'm seeing for you. I really hope that this reading resonated for you. I hope that I was able to bring you some clarity on both of these paths, both of these options. And just remember that you always have free will and that nothing is set in stone, okay? Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed watching, and hit the post notification bell so you never miss out on when I upload a video. I love you so, so much. Thank you so much for letting me read for you today, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.